At Danner, the journey is never complete. The Danner N45 Trail Hiker is designed to support those willing to sweat in search of their edge. Featuring per-spare uppers with Areoprene gussets for maximum breathability and Endurafoam midsoles for long-lasting comfort and cushion. The recraftable Vibram Mega Grip outsoles are built to be rebuilt. Danner's Precision Fit technology is available in women's styles. Breathe in the scenery with the Danner N45 Trail Hiker. Wherever you are on your journey, take new steps in the only direction you were meant to go. Forward. Explore the N45 at danner.com.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Then fly with Condor Airlines. With non-stop flights to Frankfurt, Germany, there are great connection options to several European cities. Whether it's the romantic streets of Paris or the stunning beaches of Barcelona, Condor will start your vacation and make it even more memorable by offering comfortable and spacious cabins where you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today.
This Bosch 2-in-1 impact driver rules.
Oh, yeah!
That couldn't have been
Macho Man Randy Savage indeed. Yeah, a.k.a. you're in a Bosch. I'm a macho manifestation of that feeling you get when you use that 2-in-1 impact driver.
Oh, yeah?
Nah, say it with your chest, brother. Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah!
Well, we'll work on that.
The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a
Bosch.
Hey, anyone know what channel the game's on? We know. Download the Sports on What app today and always know how to watch the game. Satellite, cable, or streaming. Sports on What knows the channel the game is on, and you can too. Subscribe today to start your 7-day free trial. Sports on What? We know.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. Oh, man, there's nothing like spending time with family. That's when memories are made. For example, a family of 3, they were enjoying a nice weekend drive when they heard what they thought was a gunshot. Their car filled with smoke, so they pulled over and exited the car. Now, the good news is nobody fired a gun at their car. Instead, their car was struck by lightning, as in a direct hit, as in it left a burned hole through the top. Now, a direct hit also fried all the car's electronics and exploded the exhaust system, which was strewn across the highway. But luckily, everyone survived, no injuries. Sure, they pooped their pants a little, but they survived. Now, speaking of families in a car, former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, he's vacationing here in the United States. If you don't remember Boris Johnson, he was the blonde guy whose hair has never seen a comb. Well, Boris and his 4-year-old son, they recently visited a safari park in Texas, you know, kind of like the Olympic Animal Farm here. And that's where you can hand feed the animals from the safety of your vehicle. Unless that animal is an ostrich. There's a video making the rounds where Boris, with his son on his lap, attempts to feed the ostrich. And instead, the bird, well, it more or less attacks him through the window. So naturally, the wife posted the video where you can hear him cussing before driving off. Which remind me, I took my kids to Olympic Animal Farm at their request, only for them to move as far away from the animals as was humanly possible. Meanwhile, I got covered in bison snot. I wish I was joking. But that's one of my better family outings that we've had, believe it or not. But that's what we're talking about today, all right? Not just family trips, but any time that you spent with your family in general, whether a family reunion, a vacation, or just being home. Because let's face it, when it comes to family, things can be stupid. So today's question, brought to you by our friends at Advanced Hair Restoration, is what did a family member do or what happened when you were with your family?
To be a part of the big show, call 206-803-ROCK. Like KISW on Facebook, follow us on X and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com. All the shows, away we go. Welcome to the 20th anniversary season, episode number 4,298. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat as we get set for the Men's Room 20th Anniversary World Tour stop number 3 at Muckleshoot Casino this Saturday at 2. The reunited New Originals take the stage.
Yes.
In honor. Today on Sit and Spin at 4:30, we have 10 cover songs by rock's biggest bands. So, Ted, you were saying in the office, you didn't really know at first that All Along the Watchtower from Jimi Hendrix, really a Bob Dylan song.
Right. I mean, I had to be in my 30s before I learned that.
That's true of most people, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
And most popular bands are known to cover a song or two. You look at the, Guns N' Roses, Knocking on Heaven's Door.
Horrible song, but yes, they covered it.
Live and Let Die.
Horrible song, but they covered it.
Yes, they did. If you look at Van Halen,
half of their catalog before 1984.
You really got me. Pretty Woman. You
name it, dude.
I mean, every single album they did, they had at least one Dancing in the Streets.
Hell, a Quiet Riot, man, shot to the top of the metal chart based on someone else's song.
They did. Was that Slade?
That was Slade. And the only reason we've heard of Slade is because Quiet Riot covered them.
Okay. Now, I know that the New Originals have been working on some new originals that are, in fact, covers. So these are new covers for the New Originals to
Correct.
perform on stage on Saturday.
Well, Ted's going to do oldie but a goodie,
classic.
But it's been stripped down. You see.
I see.
It's kind of like Ted Unplugged, if you will.
All right.
Yeah, you really get to hear my voice.
You seemed very happy about that. Last
You can
night.
hear it in my voice. Just like, God damn, I can hear my vocals loud.
What we did was on the covers today, 10 cover songs by rock's biggest bands. What we did was, Mike, I believe you took out all of the things that were easily identifiable. In other words,
Sound of Silence.
Aerosmith Come Together, Disturbed,
Right.
Sound of Silence.
Exactly.
Stuff that you've heard.
We're not going to grab those.
Well, they're too obvious. We wanted to. Some are not. I mean, some you've heard before.
You really got me by Van Halen.
Sure.
I mean, I'm still wondering if Annie is okay from the Alien Ant Farm. Michael Jackson.
Name another song from Alien Ant Farm.
That's the one I know.
Man Who Sold the World by Nirvana.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that one.
Right, because he starts it out.
Movies.
That's a David Bowie song.
Is that an Alien Ant song?
Alien Ant Farm.
How do you know that?
Because I really liked their second song, and I hope they were going to make it.
Honest to God, I don't know that I've ever heard it, man. Yeah. Like, we play, what's called Smooth Criminal.
Correct.
Right, play that all the time. Alien Ant Farm, and I'm like, man, I don't know that I know a single freaking thing from them other than that.
There is one that's a little bit more on the popular side, but I needed to get 10, so I'd toss that one out.
Okay. Well, Pearl Jam. If you know Pearl Jam, when they started out, there were a ton of even compilations where they're covering Who songs, Neil Young, Rockin' in the Free World, all these ones that you go,
Last Kiss.
I know that song.
I hate that song.
So,
Last Kiss. I didn't like the original. They didn't do it any. It is what it is. I'm glad they liked it. I hate that.
So we picked some bands that we play. I believe every band on there, Mike, we play for the most part.
Yep. Yep,
Okay.
we play every band here.
All right. You don't hear these tunes all the time, but they are covers by some of rock's biggest bands, and the bands that are covering them are some of rock's biggest bands. Yeah. So we've got that coming up for Sit and Spin at 4:30.
God, I remember it was Pain in the Grass a couple of years ago. We had Disturbed there. And David Draymond, that's his name, right? Okay. So he's actually a super nice guy, but he's sitting down with me, and this is before the interview started. And he's in a fantastic mood, man. I mean, just smiling, like there is a vibe coming off of him. And he had just found out, as he related to me, man, we have the #1 rock song in the country. And I just looked at him, and I'm like, it's a cover. I wasn't trying to cut him down, but it was Sound of Silence. I'm like, I mean, that's great, and that's cool, and you can capitalize on that. But, you didn't write it. I mean, it's kind of weird.
You just didn't screw it up when you redid it.
We have the biggest song, and we have nothing to do with it other than we played it,
Right.
So
people love that song, though.
They do. And look, they did a fine job. I wasn't trying to cut him down, but
what did he say?
No, he just kind of smiled back at me and nodded a little bit. I wasn't being derogatory. I'm
Jackass.
like, but it's...
Yeah, I know. You should have hit him with a sucker.
But it's a cover, sucker.
Well, he made so much money off that song, and so did Paul Simon.
Oh, Paul Simon, because they were like, did you like their cover? He's like, bro, I like...
Do you like this car in this pool I just got?
Yeah, he was like, whatever.
I do. So, in honor of the show on Saturday...
So I just looked out the window. I'm like, my God.
You know where we live. Michael Shoe Casino this Saturday with a reunited New Originals. I can't wait to meet your guys' new manager. I'm assuming he is a British man.
Of course he is.
Bathing optional. Probably very stringy, long hair.
And does not have all of the teeth in his mouth.
Kind of like a shorter Mick Fleetwood, but a little bit more weight on him. And never a time where you can't see some part of his chest as he wears a shirt that's normally somewhat open. So I'm assuming you got one of those guys that screams.
Yeah, we just hired Nigel.
Nigel, exactly. That's the guy.
Yes, his name is Nigel, which is the same of our last manager, whose name was Nigel.
What is your major function back here? I'm bringing out the band.
Do you have to hire a British manager?
He's got to be mean, and he doesn't wash his hair.
I swear to God, every time we do Pain in the Grass, right? And look, these bands, they're big, they're on tour, they don't know who the F we are, but we go out there to introduce the band. Someone will come over and they will ask what's your function. You explain your purpose, and they're cool with it. They give you a few regulations. Don't touch this. You can do that. Blah blah blah. This is how long you have. But I swear to God, every one of them is 5'5", and every one of them is British. To the point where I'm like, Were you here last year, man? But it's like, no, they're different managers. They're just 5'5" Nigel.
You get some American guys, but it's rare, and it doesn't matter the genre. It's not just rock.
Really?
Yeah, like years ago when we did that American Idol tour, it was all Brits.
That's okay. American Idol, man. What are you doing here, bro? But yeah, lots of British managers.
So that's coming up at 4:30. 10 cover songs by rock's biggest bands. Yeah. Today, we're going to talk about your family, what a family member did in his lifetime, or what's something that happened while the family was in your presence. So either one applies today on the question. And most people do have some characters in their families.
Yes.
Where the stories always seem to revolve around them, their antics, what they do. Sometimes you're a part of that shenanigans when you're with a family member. And I will start with my Uncle Bill, who is known to get himself into some interesting situations, so to speak. Now, my uncle, he was at a bar in his hometown, and I guess he moved away for 3 or 4 years, came back to see his folks, see his friends, whatever the deal was. Goes to his local watering hole, and there is a little person at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
I think this person was fairly intoxicated. My uncle sits down and tries to just, kind of diffuse the situation, so to speak.
What, was he being mouthy or something?
He was being mouthy to the bartender. He was not being nice to
the
people
little
around
person?
him. Yes. And he started it on my uncle. And my uncle doesn't really want to have any part of this. Okay?
Sure.
He was not there to do that. He was just there to have a Fall City beer, chill out with his friends.
Fall City.
Yes, from, I believe, Louisville or Lexington, Kentucky.
Only the best.
But he wanted to just sit down and chill out. This guy's not going to stop. And now my uncle's getting tired of it. And this guy comes over, and he lays hands on my uncle. All right. So my uncle stands up. My uncle's 6'3". All right. Okay. But so calms the situation down. Does not want to get into a fight. Does not want to have any part of this. He's really trying to diffuse the situation. Another beer goes down. My uncle's still listening to this guy talk crap about, wanting to take him outside, beat his ass, have sex with his girlfriend.
Oh, this guy's swinging for the
F
fences.
his mom. I mean, he is going after it. He's like the bagel guy. He is just unrelenting.
He's got to be banking that nobody's going to check him.
Yeah. So my uncle stands up and says, "Look, buddy, you need to leave." The guy comes over and punches him in the jewels.
He didn't punch him in the face.
Yeah, hits him hard. All right. And now my uncle's like, "Oh man," now he's coming after him. So there's another guy trying to pull this guy off of him, and my uncle's just he's not pulling any triggers.
Right.
And finally, he just says, "F it," and just takes a swing, man, and knocks this guy out. The guy wakes up and starts crying. "Why did you hit me?
Oh, God, come on.
It's not fair. Blah, 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 blah." And apparently, one of his other friends had pulled up to the bar, realized how ridiculously drunk this guy was, and physically picked him up and put him in the back of his truck and drove him to wherever he needed to go.
Like in the bed of his truck or the cab?
In the bed of his truck. He picked him up and put him in the bed of his truck and drove him.
You know why I pulled you over? Nah, man, broken tail light. There's a little person in the bed of your truck.
And my uncle feels horrible about this.
Why?
Even though he got punched in the jimmy, because
if you're going to look, it's a full-grown adult, right? If it's a kid, I get it. Doesn't matter the dude's size. At that point where it's like, look, man, you've stepped over 15 lines, and the only reason you didn't get your ass knocked out earlier is because of your size. But eventually, it's going to happen.
So now he's freaked out. He's thinking to himself, the cops are going to come down here. I'm going to get arrested for assault or whatever the deal is. And he had a hard time telling that story to his friends because his friends were making fun of him, obviously, about the whole idea. Because not a lot of people can say that they were in a bar.
What's your uncle's name?
Bill.
Yeah, you win that one, Bill.
Yeah, Bill won that one. And Bill was a lifeguard, man, for Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you know about those guys, but it's very militant in the training.
Oh, absolutely.
They're up at 5
You're
o'clock
there to save lives.
They're doing They're doing half mile to mile ocean swims every morning. They have a weight room. They have requirements like the military or being a police officer. You need to. My uncle was jacked. Like, he really was. He was jacked and in great shape. So the last guy you wanted to mess with at that time was him. But at the same time, he can say that he got into a fight with a little person at a bar and beat his ass. But
he can say that, but he probably won't.
He doesn't. He doesn't like telling the story. But all of his friends do. And everyone else who was there or heard the story remembers it and tells that story about him doing that.
Yeah, I would too.
I know a buddy that one night after a bar went home with a little person. And then in the morning, this is back in the day, so like he doesn't have a cell phone and he's out of money, but he needs to get a cab. See, we'll say borrowed some money from the little person's purse.
Oh, no.
Without them knowing.
He stole it. Okay. But you're right. Like your uncle, to this day, I see this guy maybe once every 10 years.
Yeah.
And once you get past 2 or 3 beers, it'd be like, hey, tell him the story how you had sex and rolled the midget. Or the little person. Sorry. Little person. Right? Because it's like, right. Like, he's like, what was I supposed to do? I was like, I don't know, but it seems bad that you stole. Well, first of all, it's already bad that you went home with a little person.
Why?
Well, it's just odd.
Right. Well, the story. You're just getting there to make fun of. Well, Ted, you wanted.
Well, legit.
I know. We were doing what they call it, midget wrestling, whatever it was.
Yeah, they called it that.
And it was the shortest guy on the circuit. Okay,
right,
so it's all little people, but this guy, he was the tiniest guy.
He was
there.
also a heel.
But
just so you know, as far as the way they pick the
Right.
guys against each other, he was the guy you're supposed to hate.
But that's like, look, Anthony Hopkins played a great cannibal, but it doesn't mean he's going to eat you when he's not on camera.
I don't think this guy could have transferred into a nice guy.
No, and so
well,
for whatever
I also
reason,
didn't know we were supposed to be part of the yak. We were just supposed to introduce them.
I did not know either, but I was not pulled into it so much as you were. Like, for whatever reason, the guy never said anything to me other than, hey, man, what's up? And I smoked cigarettes with him, which was odd. But for whatever reason, he kept coming up to you. And then, so, long story short, we're at this bar. A couple of hours have gone by, and Ted comes up to me, and he's like, Thrill, I'm going to beat that mother effer's ass to death. And I'm like, Ted, you can't, man. He's like, look, dude, he slapped me. Didn't he slap me? He called you a bitch or something.
Right, and he got in the ring because I introduced him, and then he got in the ring, and, fat boy and this and that. And then, right, and he's like, oh, you should have gone harder at me. I'm like, all right, cool. But then he just wouldn't let it go.
Yeah, I mean, it was all night. Even when we're just drinking beer.
So was it shtick, or was he just trying to dig at you? Well, I mean, was it both?
To me, it came as both, and I was like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah.
Tough guy.
You want to kill him?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Ted was like, man, I'm like, Ted, you can't, man. He's like, no, seriously, man. This guy's running his mouth. I'm like, Ted, I completely understand, and I sympathize with where you're coming from. But, bro, it's going to be real bad talking to the bosses tomorrow. The guy was like 2'9" or something like, seriously.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're going to kill this guy. I'm like, it's just going to be bad. I understand you're mad, but, dude, please exercise restraint. But as I'm saying, this is dude to walk by like, bitch, right at Ted. And I'm like, I don't know how to help you do that, but, man.
Yeah, it's like I would have to throw an uppercut and just stop it. Right. Just like
okay, so across the street from that bar, because this is a very small town, where my mom lives now. All right, there was a 24-hour diner.
Uh-huh.
And it was one of the main restaurants.
There you
one of the main restaurants in town. Everybody went there because it was always open. It was called Stroh-Snyder's, all right? So they had like fountain sodas, like a jerk shop, so to speak, soda jerk. Sorry if you don't know what that is. But my grandfather goes after a wrestling event at the Armory. And those guys would come around in their little local groups back then before Vince bought everything.
Right.
And so, one of the things about those guys is that it was very hard for them to go out, especially when on television, one is the mean guy and one is the nice guy.
Right, but they're friends in real life.
Right. So they go to Stroh-Snyder's. So I want to say it's like Tommy Wildfire Rich, who is a good guy, and Iron Mike Sharp, who was a bad guy. All right. My grandfather had already approached them. They'd already signed his pamphlet or whatever the hell that is, a program, right? My grandfather goes and sits down in the booth and starts eating because he's going to eat after the match. These guys order the food. Some guy walks in. He'd obviously been in the wrestling match too. These guys wrestled against each other that night. I think it was on like TBS or TNT. It was like Southern Georgia Championship Wrestling or one of those things. So this guy comes up and goes, I knew it was phony. I knew it was fake. I seen you two sitting there eating. You're friends. You can't lie to me. I knew this was fake. This is fake. Fake. You are fakers, and I want my money back, and blah, blah, blah. Right. And this guy challenges like Tommy Wildfire Rich to a fight.
Bad idea, man.
They drag this jackass outside, and they hang him on the telephone pole by his belt loop. Iron Mike Sharp was a big dude.
Yeah.
He was a huge guy. Tommy Wildfire Rich shorter, but they wrestled him up. And the first loop on a telephone pole is up there.
High.
Yeah, it's like 7 feet, maybe.
To encourage you not to climb them.
Yeah.
So he picked his ass up, hooked him on there, and my grandfather said the guy was like swimming in the air. Like he
trying to get down.
He couldn't get himself out of it. And it's like he was getting a super wedgie, and he was screaming for help. And those guys just laughed and came back in and kept on eating food. What did a family member do, or what happened when you were with your family? 206-803-ROCK.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's direct rate, then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are designed to outlast and outlive, combining raw power with precision engineering, all backed by Toyota's legendary reputation for reliability. Climb inside a Tundra and experience the uncompromising strength. With its available iForce Max engine, the Tundra delivers exceptional power, torque, and towing capacity. Plus, the spacious and high-tech cabin keeps you connected on the run. Or check out a Tacoma. Agile, dependable, and unstoppable. The Tacoma's designed for those who go beyond the trails. Stay ahead of the pack with available off-road features like crawl control. Or break out your tunes with the available portable JBL speaker. Toyota trucks are built to last, year after year, mile after mile. So outlast every adventure and outlive the moment. Buy a Tundra or Tacoma today. Visit buyatoyota.com, the official website for deals. Or stop by your local Toyota dealer to find out more. Toyota, let's go places.
$50,000 to $80,000 to repair and replace a broken sewer? That stinks.
Well, that's what you get when you buy an older home.
We don't have that kind of money. I mean, who does?
Well, don't wait until it's too late. Call Pinky's.
Pinky's?
Yes, Darlene. Pinky's Plumbing. They do everything plumbing, even sewer and drain cleaning. A little preventative maintenance now will save you a big headache later. Just schedule it at pinkysplumbing.com.
Oh, thanks, Ethel.
Auto insurance rates are on the rise, which is why you should call Vern Fonk Insurance. Vern Fonk could save you up to 20% on your auto insurance. The pros at Vern Fonk will do all the work, comparing different plans to find you the best options. And they can insure you over the phone. One call to Vern Fonk could save you up to 20%. Call 206-408-5094. 206-408-5094.
Remember to honk when you drive by Vern Fonk.
Restrictions apply based on a Q3 2023 study of Vern Fonk insurance customers who reported saving when they switched. License number 1070622.
Look around. Every car you see is probably on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars. As for flying cars, well, we're ready when they are. If you see a car you like, find it on AutoTrader. That's our kind of thing. AutoTrader.
You're in the men's room. Text the guys at 206-803-ROCK.
A question, what did a family member do, or what happened when you were with your family? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Kay. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, how's it going?
Hola. So, Kay, what happened with a family member, or when your family was together?
Well, it was when my family was all together. We had taken a family cruise. So there was every age from little to big. And we were on a 7-day cruise. There was 10 or 11 of us, and we hit our first port of call. And this is my mom and I that this happened to. We go off by ourselves because nobody would go shopping with us. And so we have to meet back at the boat by a certain time. It's getting ready to take off. And all of a sudden I realize that it's getting late and I've got to get back down to the boat. And my mom's in a wheelchair. She's 90 years old. I was not exactly the best, speediest person in the world myself. But as we're heading back, I'm kind of trying to hoof it a little bit to get back to the boat. And it's a downhill slope. And I let go of I don't remember why, but I let go of the handles on
Because you hate your mother?
It what?
Because you hate your mother?
Well, okay, that might have had something to do with it at some point in my life. However, I realized she was starting to roll faster than what I realized she would. And it was a pretty steep slope. And pretty soon I'm trying to run, and I don't run very well. Well, anyway, long story short, I'm zippity-doo-dah down there as fast as I can. And I'm trying to catch her, and she's going, oh, I can hear her talking. She's going, oh, Kenny, we're going kind of fast. You're really moving. And she's kind of looking around, and I'm thinking, oh, God, I've got to catch up to her. And I'm only a few steps behind her just as we get down to where it starts to flatten out, and there's rocks, and, there's all kinds of things in the way or whatever. I'm thinking, oh, my God, I'm going to kill my mom. And I don't know how I did it. I just got going just fast enough. I caught those handlebars and brought her to a stop. And she said, well, that was fun. I thought, oh, you have no idea.
Did you ever tell her that you let go of the wheelchair?
Nope.
And you have no idea why. And you said this is a steep slope. Your mom was 90 in a wheelchair, and you honestly cannot think of why, other than I want my mom to die today, that you let go of the back of the wheelchair.
Well, I don't remember why. I'm sure I knew at the time, and I just knew I was, going fast. I have no idea, but my family laughs about that to this day. My husband, in fact, called me and said, you've got to call KISW and tell them the story. And
did you make the boat?
Yes,
okay.
I did.
All right, that's the most important thing.
Oh, they will leave your ass. It's like a train. They are not effing
on
around.
the nut, man.
Where was your cruise?
We were down in the Eastern Caribbean, and I think the first port of call was Puerto Rico, but I'm not positive. So I think that's where it was, but
well, it's hilly there.
Were you excited about the idea of doing a cruise with the whole family? I might be a horrible human being, but I had a great cruise. It's just me and my wife, one other couple, right? And it was fantastic. Right. And my wife keeps kicking around the idea of, hey, the kids are old enough, we could take them on another European cruise. Worth doing. I'd recommend it to anyone. And I'm like, I understand they're old enough. I don't want them on the cruise. I love my kids, but I'm like, no, man. And if my parents called me now and said, hey, we're going to get your brother and his wife, me and your dad, you bring your family, I would have to find an excuse not to do it. I don't know what it is, but the idea of being confined on a cruise ship with my family seems awful.
It was my idea.
Oh, was it?
Well, the hardest part is finding out, a dinner table for 8.
Oh, no, they know.
Or all these things that I'm just like, this happened to me on family vacation. I'm like, 104 of you.
But I think on a cruise, they know your group of 8. So that part would be set up.
All right.
But you still got to eat every meal with them.
That's the downside of a cruise, is that it will be set up. So even if you kind of want to escape everyone, because dinner is served at a time, right? And look, if you're together, unless you make a special request, which would sound horrible, like, hey, can you put my kids and the rest of my family at a different table? Because then you look like an a-hole, right? And maybe I'm an a-hole, but just my wife keeps sticking around the idea, and I was like, babe, listen to me, man. Seriously. We do a lot of things with the kids. I love my kids. I enjoy the time with the kids. But part of the reason I enjoyed that cruise is because they are not on it.
Yep. My brother and his family. We want to get pizza tonight. Go.
Right.
Go.
No, it must be a family thing.
No, we don't get a chance to do this. Go. I'll see you afterwards.
It's always the thing we don't get when we go to Delaware, right? So once a year or every other year, we go to this beach house in Delaware. It's my wife's side of the family, and it's fine. And we have a good time. It's not that, because you can kind of just do your own thing, except dinner. All right, so you can go to the beach, hang out at the pool, go see the city, go do what you want to do. But dinner, everyone must be together. There are 25 people. Okay, and I don't care who you are. I don't care how organized you are. My wife's the most organized person I've ever known in my life. Even she cannot herd all of these cats to make it normal. We had to go to the grocery store one day. It was just me and her. Everyone else went to the beach, and we were just so happy to see each other, right? So it's all right, we're going to grab lunch. We're going to stop at the bar. We'll do a few things. Cool. We go out. My wife's like, hey, I didn't tell you this from the top, but we also have to go to the grocery store. I'm like, sorry, what now? She's like, we have to go to the grocery store. We're doing dinner with everyone tonight. Okay. What are we eating? And we've made it clear, and she knows that you and I, as we call it, Miles, the crappy tacos, just straight ground beef, stale-ass taco shells and all that kind of thing. So we're buying all this, and now I'm in a mood at the grocery store. Like, man, I don't want to sit down with 25 people. I do not want to eat crappy tacos. And then even then, my wife's waiting for something at the meat counter. So I'm like, look, I'm just going to get the rest of this crap because I want to get out of here as soon as I can. Everything I grabbed was the wrong version of what was on the list. So I grabbed canned corn. So I'm already like, dude, Jesus Christ, come on. And my wife looks in there and she's like, yeah, we got to get different corn. I'm like, what are you talking about? And maybe it's Del Monte. I don't know. But she's like, well, they'll only eat blank. I'm like, dude, it is canned corn. Like, that was just my whole thing. By the time we ate dinner, I was just pissed. I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Isn't that what I want to do? It does.
I mean, I do it with my buddies. We'll go on a trip every, 10 years.
Yeah.
But that's a group of guys. But that's our rule, too. People find it funny. You have to eat dinner together.
Oh, you told me that one guy, that's his one rule.
Yeah, right, because he'll buy these giant, and he might legit be a billionaire, right? He started crazy companies. But, his one rule is we eat dinner together. You can't have a beer. You have to have wine or a cocktail or just water, right? But you can't have a beer at the table. And then you take...
What is this deal with beer? It doesn't look classy?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay,
I don't know. But it's kind of nice. Sometimes you get a gin and tonic. Sometimes you have a wine. And you take turns, cooking. I was on prep one night. My buddy Steve was on the grill.
So it doesn't matter if you go out or you're at the rental place. It's always together, and it's always no beer.
Correct.
Yeah. So if you're making dinner, going out, whatever.
Right. The last night we were there, he was very upset because he wanted to go to the specific restaurant, but everybody was kind of burnt out as they had been there 2 days before me.
Yeah.
So then we ordered a bunch of food, but same thing. Not a lot of sharing. You order what you want. Yep. Sit down at the table. You have your wine or your cocktail at 6 p.m.
Wow. And he has a set time.
6 p.m.
Wow. Okay.
Does he do that at home?
No, it's
That's
just
probably
honestly, look, I can't explain to you how much he must have spent on this house. When you go to the bars, before you know it, there's just trays of shots being passed around.
Oh, wow.
Because he's just over there ordering them and send them out to the crowd, send them to my buddies. So the last thing you're going to do is bitch about having to sit down at 6 for dinner.
You are absolutely right. All right, man, I can do that.
But it is kind of funny because it's we're like a little family. Dad says we got to be here.
What did a family member do, or what happened when you were with your family? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Luke. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
Okay, so the short version of what happened was that this happened a couple of days ago. I finished, I was in the bathroom and I went downstairs to get some breakfast. And a couple of hours later, my whole family, we noticed a really bad smell coming from somewhere in our house. I went back to the bathroom and I took a whiff, and turns out the fan was still on, so it was not coming from up there.
You really thought the first thought you had was that it was what you had done in that bathroom?
Yeah, it sounds ridiculous on paper and even funnier when you say it out loud, now that I think about it. So after, we couldn't figure out where the smell was coming from. And believe it or not, normally we were able to figure it out much quicker, but this time it took us at least 4 or 5 hours. But that was because we had some busy yard work at the time. And so 4 or 5 hours later, I'm about to go outside to mow the lawn, and I had a funny urge to go up to the laundry room, and turns out that's where the smell was the strongest. And I let my dad know, and I went down to the garage to get the mower, and he came back a couple minutes later and told me that that's actually what happened. He left some wet clothes in the washing machine a little too long, and that's how a large part of our house ended up smelling like a large pile of manure.
How long had he left them in there? Because that's one of the worst smells, at least in my opinion, man, is old, wet clothes. How long had he left them in there?
I don't know. Maybe since the evening before. I honestly have no clue.
Well, those people don't really realize they smell. When you're around a moldy clothes person, for whatever reason, they don't smell it.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why. Maybe because all their clothes smell like that.
Yeah. Okay. Here we have a story of a crazy one. An otter ransacked a family's kitchen cupboards after following the scent of fresh catch at sea. Donna Mount, she lives in Shetland, and she lives with her husband, Ryan, and he is a commercial fisherman. They have 2 kids. She's cooking dinner when she noticed that there was an otter outside her house looking for food.
All right.
So intrigued, their son and daughter, 4 and 6, went outside to catch a glimpse of the animal, only for the otter to bolt at them and run through the open front door of their home. The chaos was captured on video by the dad as the creature invaded their home. It was definitely a moment of OS. You can't make it up. So the husband is a fisherman, and he brought some fish home with him. And there was some in the sink. There was some in cans. His clothes smelled like fish and all of his equipment. And the otter came in, smelling and tearing apart all of it. It happened so quickly. The video has amassed over 25,000 views. It starts off with a family capturing the otter outside, playing around. The kids are like, oh, look, an otter. Then it bolts up the front steps and through the front door. Yeah. Now, after running through the kitchen, the otter then hid in a storage room. So Ryan, the husband, tries to coax the animal out. It runs straight between his legs, back into the kitchen, jumps on the kitchen counter, and opens up the cupboard.
How high can those things jump, man?
Jumped on the table, started causing chaos as it swung off a floor lamp, ran across the kitchen counters, knocking over crockery, they call it. Not knowing where to go, it opened a couple cupboards, then managed to jump into one, pulled the contents out of mostly cans of fish. Then the otter ran across the top of the cupboards before working out an escape route out of the property. Mom says it was just funny watching Ryan trying to get it out. I had to just put this video online. It was too much. I'm amazed that nothing was broken with all the mess it caused. But I did have to chuck the tea out after all of that. A spokesperson said, you should contact a helpline for advice if you come across an otter out of its natural habitat. And always keep a safe distance, as they can be aggressive and like to bite.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've heard about otters. My thought is, all right, the otter runs in the house. I don't know what my plan of attack would be. You know, birds want anything like an otter. I don't know what you do. But once it's in the storeroom, the door is closed, and then we make a call. To me, that's where he screwed up, was opening the storeroom door. Like, dude, if it's trapped, just let it be trapped unless you have a big otter plan.
Yeah. Now we have the story of a family of three.
I don't.
I mean, like a broom's not going to do it. They're very dense.
I just don't have an otter plan.
I don't have it. You'd have to grab a gun to shoot them.
Don't you have a machete?
I'm not going to machete an otter.
You wouldn't. It's in your house, but it's tearing your house apart, man. All
I
right?
guess you're right. I guess I could.
Do you have a
machete.
baseball bat?
Yeah, I got an aluminum bat.
I'd have to go into the garage.
I should take that cricket bat I got from Aaron.
Ooh.
Hit it with it.
Yeah.
Oh, now you want to hit an otter with a cricket bat.
Just put it by your door, just in case.
You want to hit an otter with a cricket bat.
Well, he's tearing apart the house.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Oh, I tee off.
Like if I had a machete, and it sounds awful. It's not that I want to cut an otter in half, but like if you're ripping my house apart, I don't know. I don't have a machete, though. I don't know what I could do.
But you're still right. Where he went wrong was like, it's already locked away in one room.
Leave it there.
Why would you open that door?
I got a battle axe somewhere.
Do you have a battle axe?
Yeah. No, it's a prop, but it's got a sharp edge on it.
Okay. Well, if it can hurt something, it's not a prop.
It's a little one-handed little booger.
What makes it a prop if it's an actual axe?
To be fair,
I mean,
because it's probably very shoddily made. Like I'm not taking this thing into combat, but if somebody busts into my house, like
then you take it into combat.
I can do some damage.
That is not a prop. What do you have, man? An otter is now in your house wreaking havoc.
Honestly,
what's your go-to? Yeah,
meat cleaver.
Exactly. Right.
That's what I got. That's my go-to grab weapon. Like if something's going on, man, I grab the meat cleaver.
I feel like that's more brutal, though.
I feel like that. Well, with a human, you're like, oh God, this guy's got a meat cleaver. Like if I get into you, man, I'm cutting an artery. This is not going to be a joke.
But it's an otter. I mean, there's an aluminum bat in the garage. I just don't know how much time it would take me to get to the garage to grab the bat, to come back. And then again, they're so dense, I don't know how many times I'd have to hit this.
You don't keep it in the bed?
If I hit it once and I piss it off, that thing's coming after me.
No, you got to club it in the head.
Well, I know, but they're fast, man. Say I whiff and hit it in the ribs. I'm telling you, that otter's going to F me up.
No, the ribs, dude, it'll be down.
Golf club, that works.
Oh, there you go.
Otter?
Yeah. Dude, anything you take out its ribs, it's down.
But you have to take the ribs out. A wooden bat, I'd be confident I could do it.
Well, you're not swinging for first base, man. You're swinging for the doggone fences. You're going to crack a rib on the little bitty otter.
My son, he has golf clubs.
There you go.
I think I'd have to grab a club. Son, grab your otter club.
You don't keep the bat next to your bed?
No.
Man, that's like immediate bam, like somebody's in the house.
I got my dog and my wife.
That's true enough.
What did a family member do, or what happened when you were with your family? 206-803-ROCK.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
Spring's here. Flowers are blooming, birds are singing, and allergies, yeah, they're back too. Sneezing, watery eyes, when they hit, you need a tissue fast. That's where Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues come in. Whether you're at home or on the go, Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues have you covered. Allergist-approved Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues are gentle on your eyes and nose, so you can power through allergy season without missing a beat. Because while allergies are unpredictable, staying prepared is easy. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.
Nerds! Today's episode is sponsored by Smart Travel, a new podcast from NerdWallet. Smart Travel doesn't just cover points and miles. They break down all the financial aspects of your trip, whether that's the best days to book, how to avoid hidden fees, or which fancy travel credit cards pay off, and which ones are just an expensive flex. If you want your travel budget to work harder, then dive into the best deals, products, services, and more with Smart Travel from NerdWallet, wherever you get your podcasts.
Plug in a Hyundai EV and the extraordinary happens. From the charge time and range in the Ioniq 5 and 6 to the adventurous spirit of the Kona Electric to the 601 horsepower Ioniq 5N. Hyundai EVs make the extraordinary electrifying. There's joy in every journey.
EPA estimated 303-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 5 SE SEL Limited rear-wheel drive and 361-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 6 SE long-range rear-wheel drive with fully charged battery. Actual range may vary. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
At Cardinal Heating and Air, we elevate your comfort with expert HVAC solutions in the greater Seattle area. Our decades of experience have fostered lasting relationships built on quality service. Whether you need AC repair, heating repair, routine maintenance, a new installation, or an emergency fix, you can trust Cardinal Heating and Air, now offering electrical services. Experience the exceptional service and peace of mind that Cardinal Heating and Air delivers today and for years to come.
At Danner, the journey is never complete. The Danner N45 Trail Hiker is designed to support those willing to sweat in search of their edge. Featuring per-spare uppers with a reaprene gussets for maximum breathability and Endurafoam midsoles for long-lasting comfort and cushion. The recraftable Vibram Mega Grip outsoles are built to be rebuilt. Danner's precision fit technology is available in women's styles. Breathe in the scenery with the Danner N45 Trail Hiker. Wherever you are on your journey, take new steps in the only direction you were meant to go. Forward. Explore the N45 at Danner.com.
Auto insurance rates are on the rise, which is why you should call Vern Fonk Insurance. Vern Fonk could save you up to 20% on your auto insurance. The pros at Vern Fonk will do all the work, comparing different plans to find you the best options. And they can insure you over the phone. One call to Vern Fonk could save you up to 20%. Call 206-408-5094. 206-408-5094.
Remember to honk when you drive by Vern Fonk.
Restrictions apply based on a Q3 2023 study of Vern Fonk insurance customers who reported saving when they switched. License number 1070622.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Then fly with Condor Airlines. With non-stop flights to Frankfurt, Germany, there are great connection options to several European cities. Whether it's the romantic streets of Paris or the stunning beaches of Barcelona, Condor will start your vacation and make it even more memorable by offering comfortable and spacious cabins where you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today.
Hey, anyone know what channel the game's on? We know. Download the Sports on What app today and always know how to watch the game. Satellite, cable, or streaming. Sports on What knows the channel the game is on, and you can too. Subscribe today to start your 7-day free trial.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Family of three left standing astonished by the roadside. Their journey took an unexpected turn on Saturday. A lightning strike hit the family's car on Route 13 in southern Illinois. Now, deputies responded to the scene and found the family standing outside their damaged Ford. The three family members were uninjured and reported hearing a loud gunshot noise while traveling. The vehicle immediately filled with smoke after being struck. The direct lightning strike disabled the vehicle's electrical system, left a visible hole in the middle of the roof of the car, and also exploded the rear bumper and exhaust system, leaving debris scattered across the highway.
Damn. I do remember being in a car accident with the family, just the four of us, much younger. We're living in Rochester at the time. It's wintertime. The roads are icy, whatever. But at this time, we had a Volkswagen bus, right? And seatbelts at that time were optional. Now, my parents were belted in. And the way we did it, there was the second and third row. Because I was younger, I got the second row, which was slightly smaller, but bigger than a single seat. Loved it. My brother had the full back row. And it was at night, and I just remember my father yelling, "Hold on!" Right? He just yells it. He just screams, "Hold on!" We have no idea what's coming, but I grabbed the back of his seat. Anyway, the bus. He pulls off the side of the road. Long story short, there was a car broken down in the middle of the road on the ice. And they just had their hazards on. There was a cop car there as well, but they didn't have any flares lit up or anything. So he kind of saw it at the last minute. And he pulls over to the right. What we did not know is that directly to the right of the road was a big ditch, like deeper than a culvert, but a ditch. So the bus fell over like the Flintstones car, right? It just went on its side. But it was a real quick thing. And after it happened, I remember I'm still holding onto the back of my father's seat, and my feet are dangling above the windows of the bus. Both of my parents are fine. My brother, meanwhile, had not held on, and he was just the look on his face makes me chuckle. He just looked disgusted, but he had fallen all the way down, like into the window kind of thing. So everyone's fine. And then I remember getting out of the car, which was, I thought it was kind of cool as a kid. Like, everyone was okay. So now it's just cool. The bus is sideways. We had to open the driver's side door, but it's like opening the latch to a submarine, right? Because now it's above your head. He pulls my mom out, pulls us out. My brother the whole time. Not hurt, but that look of disgust on his face never went away. And then my father, I just remember him. He is tearing this cop a new a-hole up and down about flares. Because the cop was dealing with the car. The guy in the car that had stalled, he was not injured. His car just stopped working. Like, what the goddamn flares in the middle of the road? You could have killed my kids. And I remember when he said that, the cop glanced over at us. And because I'm a little kid, like 9 or 10 years old, I like smiled and waved. You know, the police thought he was not in the mood for that. He was getting dressed down, but they lit the flares and all that. But finally, some family friends grabbed us, took us back to their place. My father gets home like 3 hours later, and he's still just pissed. And we're like, what is wrong, man? And he's like, they sent a tow truck to get the Volkswagen bus out of the ditch, but because of the ice, that tow truck fell into the ditch.
Oh, heavens.
Seriously. And then they had to wait for like a big, massive one to come out and pull them both out. And the passenger side mirror was gone. That pissed him off. Because, again, do not mess with my father's car. It doesn't matter that it's a brown Volkswagen bus with orange and brown racing stripes. Doesn't matter how ugly it is. Don't mess with his S, man. He was pissed like for weeks.
Yep.
From Reddit, some unforgettable stories about relatives that will be talked about for generations. Here's one. My cousin stole her mom's boyfriend, whom the mom had a child with. What? Then had 2 children of her own with that guy. What? Yeah, trying to make sense of the connection between siblings, stepmom, stepbrother, uncle, aunts, etc.
Jesus, man.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm glad. As far as I know, nothing like that in my family.
No. Story of my family about my hillbilly cousins who lived in the bustling metropolis of rural western Kentucky. Their toilet pipes had become clogged somehow, and since they were so handy, they figured the best way to fix the toilet would be to unclog it using a hand grenade.
Jesus, come on.
Oh, come on. Shockingly, this tactic managed to ignite the house on fire and burn it to the ground, although I think the toilet did get unclogged in the process.
Yeah, probably.
So you blew it up.
Yeah. Now, my cousin, and I've told this story before, his father passed away, and he lived in Florida at the time and came back for his father's funeral. And he was going to stay there for like a month or 2 and kind of just get situations in order as far as possessions and all that stuff. And also the house he grew up in. And he had siblings. So they basically kind of all needed to get together, go through all the stuff, find their own stuff, blah, 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 blah. However, Steve got the house from his dad. So the entire house was his. But at that point in time, Bandana Steve, who looked like Hulk Hogan, he was living down in Florida, shocking, and enjoyed the Florida OxyContin, Percocet, jet ski lifestyle.
Sure.
So he was
the Florida way, man.
Yeah. And what he really needed more than anything was not a home in West Virginia that he grew up in, because he never wanted to live in that place again. What he needed was cash. And he figured the market was so bad and the house was so dilapidated, all the money that he would need to put in there to fix this thing up to sell it, and you really couldn't sell it as is, so to speak.
Yeah, you're selling the lot at that point.
You're basically selling a teardown. So what he decided to do was he decided to set his dad's house on fire. So he dispatched...
Get the insurance?
He
Do you know this because he told you or because he got caught?
Because he told everybody.
Jesus Christ.
Yes. So he got a plan together where he was going to burn the house down while he was out of town. So he got a buddy of his to go over to the home and set the place on fire when he was not home. for whatever reason. Also, keep in mind that this town is so small, it only has a volunteer fire department.
Okay.
So there's no forensic expert going over there and going, hey, the porch was soaked in gasoline.
Right.
Or
there's an accelerant.
A Molotov cocktail was thrown, through the door or whatever the deal is. They have no idea. So he burned the house to the ground, got the money back for that, took all the money and went on to Florida and ended up in a drug rehab center from doing all the drugs off of all the money.
Did he spend all the money?
Oh, yeah.
I would imagine.
Yeah. But he was the cousin that was always up to no good.
But he told you this.
Yeah.
Why?
He told whoever he told in the family, they told everybody else. I think that one of his siblings was kind of, look, Steve, if you don't want the house, I'll take the house kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the house was in his name, and so he wanted the money.
All right.
He did not want to give the house to his sister to live in with her family. So he determined, so that was why there was a conflict, because she knew.
Damn.
He burned the house down. But he burned the house down to the ground. Like, if you go there to this day, it is still just a charred remains of a lot with weeds growing all around.
Really?
And no one has bought the lot. So he was not wrong about selling the place.
Sure.
But he did burn the house down. Which to me is, considering that's your family home.
Yeah. I mean, but the flip side, like you said, to this day, how long ago was this?
Also, they cleaned out the house.
And then it burned to the ground.
I mean, they had the couch in there or stuff that they did not want.
Yeah.
But essentially, anything of any value, they'd
taken out.
They'd all already pulled it out, and they still did not figure that out. Did you have any items of value in there? The insurance company would say, well, not really. It was my dad's place. Not letting them know that there was all that crap in there.
Why wouldn't they? I mean, look, at the point, like you said, look, it's a volunteer fire department. They don't have a forensics expert to go around and say all this crap. So when the insurance company asked me, did you have anything valuable in there? I absolutely did. Absolutely did, because no one can disprove it.
Yep. Once in the middle of a conversation in the living room of a family member, my uncle stood up, walked toward the corner, turned around so his back was to everybody, and proceeded to pee into a plastic Solo cup. His reasoning, he didn't want to miss the conversation. Jesus. Needless to say, the conversation effectively stopped upon this happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's a good one. In the early 2000s, I took my cousin Bubba to a house party.
Bubba?
Uh-oh. He knew no one there besides me and my husband. Bubba ended up living there for the next 6 months.
What?
Wow. Bubba must have been a charming dude.
I guess so.
We were camping once, and my cousin walked off into the woods to smoke a joint and take a morning poop. He also took his gun along to keep himself entertained. So when he finished his joint and poo, he looked back at his pile and naturally decided to shoot it. He returned to the campsite covered in shrapnel of his bad decision.
What did he think was going to happen?
I'm not sure.
Well, look, that's going to go bad when it said he took his firearm for his own enjoyment.
Not to be safe.
Not I'm worried about a bear or anything else, but just I don't know, I might get bored. Let me take my gun with me.
I just wouldn't think that you were going to shoot a turd.
Yeah. Here's a good
one. I
one.
would think wrong.
One Thanksgiving dinner a few years ago, my cousin and his girlfriend got really drunk. Then my cousin proceeded to pull his D out at the dinner table in front of my whole extended family. He points at his genital warts and says, "Look what she did to me," referring to his girlfriend. That sure got a good reaction from my grandma.
Oh, God. No. God, man.
Guys, my cousin was arrested with some weed, was bailed out, then broke back into the police station that night and tried to steal his weed back. He is a family gem.
My God, man.
Yeah.
It's weed, bro.
Grandpa had a habit of putting things up his nose and sneezing them out for the comedic effect. One Sunday night at dinner, he shoved 3 kernels of corn up his nose. We laughed pretty hard until we realized only 2 kernels came out. The third one didn't come out until the following Tuesday. We called him the Colonel for 3 months.
The Colonel.
Yeah. Here's another. Guys, my older cousin is a raging alcoholic. For our family Christmas party, he asked in the family group chat if he could bring 2 female companions with him. They were escorts.
Jeez, man.
When his mom told him no, he took himself out of the family group chat and said he would not be attending. He still showed up, got completely hammered, and was mad the entire night. The next day, he was posting on social media that he was enjoying a sober life, and he was engaged to his ex-girlfriend a week later. The engagement lasted 2 days.
I knew a guy that back in the day, right, at a university, was pretty well known for, like, selling stuff to people, right?
All right.
So later in life, like, obviously you can't do that anymore. So he has, like, a sales job, whatever, but basically the same thing. There's some giant convention. You could bring a spouse.
Okay.
He brings an escort. And basically just is blacked out, drunk. Now, the other issue is that apparently he had never used this escort, so he doesn't really know who she is.
Yeah.
She gets all messed up. Like, basically, they call such a scene.
Oh, no.
Like, the cops have to be called. He obviously lost that job.
Yeah.
I mean, they sent him home and everything else. But when I heard the story, I was just like, you've got to be kidding me.
Why would you think no one's going to know it's an escort? Or did he just not care?
Well, it was also, like, 3 nights. Like, I honestly, if you showed up to, like, an office Christmas party and you just had this dime of a girl, not anybody in this room, but somebody just showed up, like, I'm sure you could pay an escort for a few hours to maintain and just be
sure,
like,
just pretend
here's the story.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm sure it's been done. But he took that girl down there for 3 nights. And they're doing coke. They're getting blacked out drunk. Like, of course, like, you know what I mean? Once you get people that messed up, like, if you don't know them, you don't know how it's going to go.
There was a guy I knew years ago, and the first time I met his quote-unquote wife, we were 100% convinced that she was an escort, right? Just the way she was dressed, the way she acted, kind of their interaction, the whole thing. And we're like, whatever. It's back in the restaurant days. And we're just like, all right, man, whatever. The next year we have a Christmas party, shows up with the same escort, and then we start looking at her hand. They're married. Yeah. It was his wife, and we're like, wow. Man, we had no idea. Seriously, but the flips, wow, kind of a good job. Like, she was really good looking, kind of made up to look great, which is fine. But also not a great job when everyone thinks she's an escort. And not because of the way she looks necessarily, but because of the way she acts.
What did a family member do, or what happened when you were with your family? 206-803-ROCK. Guys, everyone likes to tell this one. When my uncle was in middle school, same middle school, actually, I would attend 30 years later. He got into a fight with one of his teachers. The fight was a literal knockdown, drag-out fist fight that had the teacher throwing my uncle into a nearby row of lockers by his collar and my uncle spitting blood at the teacher's face and shirt.
Jesus.
I don't believe the teacher faced any repercussions, but he continued to wear the shirt that got spit on throughout the year, and everyone could still see the blood stain on it. Made my uncle a legend, and anyone with his last name, a.k.a. my dad, cousin, brother, and I, were wary of being associated with him.
Yeah.
As far as the town's
the good old days, as it were.
That guy's my rich condescending.
I mean, if your family has that rep.
Right, exactly. As soon as you get to that class, they don't like you. I had the exact opposite problem. My brother was such a good student, and he's 5 years ahead of me. So as soon as I showed up in class, the teacher, day one, pretty much every teacher I had was like, oh, that is fantastic. We got another Hill boy in here, blah, blah, blah. In about 3 weeks, they understood that we're very different people. Yeah, I ended up just crapping all over the very good academic legacy that my brother left behind. But, it was like every year. First day, oh, I've heard about you. You're Adrian's younger brother. I'm like, yeah, that's my older brother. Blah, 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 blah. Like, they would take extra time to talk to me, right? And honest to God, by 3 weeks, every case, they're like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, what the hell happened between you and your brother? I'm like, we're just different people. It'd have been better for my brother if they were unhappy to, like, if I were older, they'd have been unhappy to see him. And they go like, okay, there's some redeeming quality about the Hill family. But I absolutely crapped all over anything that he did.
Yeah.
To the point he would get irritated. Like, for real, man? I'm like, look, I'm not here for you. I'm here for me. It just happens that you're a good guy. You got great grades. And I'm the opposite of both of those. And now the teachers, I feel like they hated me even more because they had some expectation that I was going to be a decent individual. It's like, no, I'm not, dude, at all.
Yeah. My dad, he had a buddy.
That is probably worse, though.
It is, because, they really, honestly, man, first day of school, up until we freaking graduated from high school, the teachers, they'd always pull me aside, day one. Oh, you're Adrian's younger brother. How's he doing? He's doing great, man. Blah, 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 blah. And it was just gushing. They're so excited that I'm in their class. And by the end of it, man, they're like, we hate you. You have let us down. You have been a disappointment. Maybe you should do a DNA test because there's no way the two of you are related. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, bro. This is I'm me, he's him.
My dad had a buddy that worked for the DMV.
All right.
So I want to say they're about 18, 19 years old. So drinking age then was 17.
Yeah.
So they had no reason to get a fake ID. That was not in the cards. But they would get messed up and just go over and want to take goofy pictures of themselves doing stupid stuff like flipping off the camera, get a license made, or whatever the hell they did. One night they got high and drunk and decided that they were just going to give themselves ridiculous names.
Okay.
So one of the guys was like John Rockefeller or whatever. My dad picked Howard Johnson Jr., all right? So he had a legitimate driver's license that said Howard Johnson Jr. Now, he did it as a joke, but what he didn't realize was he always would keep it in his wallet. Like, if I get pulled over, I'm going to give him this one.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of thing.
No.
Then at one point in time, as he was...
Why didn't he start going to Howard Johnson's?
That's what happened.
All right.
He started to travel, and when he was traveling, he would go to a Howard Johnson's and go up to the desk, the front reception, and say, I called earlier, I'm Howard Johnson Jr., is my booth ready?
Yeah.
And they would go, oh... but the thing was, I think the first couple times, no one ever checked the ID. It wasn't like he went in and showed the ID. Just like, I'm Howard Johnson Jr. I called earlier. Is the booth ready? He would do the same thing at the hotel.
Right.
Then he would show his ID at the hotel. He got free rooms. He got free food. He got free ice cream. There was no way.
Free ice cream.
Well, they had ice cream.
Yeah.
No. I know. We went there all the time when I was a kid.
There was no way to check and validate this stuff.
Yeah.
So we were in question, like, look, man, I got the pass.
And it's an official ID, right?
Yes. Do you need me to call anybody? I mean, I can make a phone call if you need me to.
Yeah.
No, sir. We didn't know the room was for this weekend. Yes, I called. And he would call and talk to the front desk and get the room, and then just go there. And
Did they ever charge him?
I don't think he ever got busted. It was like
so stupid.
But you got to remember, like,
but it worked.
He would go like when they were traveling, go down to Florida, South Carolina. Howard Johnson's everywhere.
They were. Yeah, we used to just go to them literally for dinner and for dinner and ice cream.
So not even John Rockefeller, Howard frickin' Johnson.
He tells his girlfriend, wife, whatever, like, look, man, just remember I'm Howard. And no matter what we do,
call me Howard.
Don't call me Jim. Yeah, call me Howard.
Junior at worst.
We got this. They ordered room service because they had a restaurant downstairs. They get one of the nicest rooms in the hotel.
Not Hilton. Howard Johnson.
Howard Johnson Jr. What did a family member do, or what happened when you were with your family? 206-803-ROCKS.
Oh, this Bosch miter saw really is smooth. Feeling smooth. Who said that? It's your inner Bosch, baby. I'm that scoobity-bebop smooth feeling you get when you make smooth cuts with that moobity-mibbity-mibbity-mubbity miter saw. So I'll just keep ski-bop sawing then? Now you're getting it. Beep-bop, beat-up, wow, miter saw is my favorite.
The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a
Bosch. The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are designed to outlast and outlive, backed by Toyota's legendary reputation for reliability. So get in a Tundra with the available iForce Max Hybrid engine, delivering exceptional torque and towing capacity. Or check out a Tacoma. With available off-road features like crawl control, it can take you beyond the trails. Toyota trucks are built to last. So don't wait. Get yours today. Visit buyatoyota.com for deals and more. Toyota, let's go places.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. You know what's sneaky? A bunch of big corporations buying up local companies you know and love, gutting them, and keeping the name. But you know who's not a sellout? Pinky's Plumbing. That's right. Pinky's Plumbing's values start with their work ethic, honesty, how they treat their employees, and how they care for their customers. Bigger isn't always better, and that's a fact. You should know you're working with a locally owned company that truly values where they live and work. Pinky's Plumbing. Pinky'sPlumbing.com.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
Nerds.
Today's episode is sponsored by Smart Travel, a new podcast from NerdWallet. Smart Travel doesn't just cover points and miles. They break down all the financial aspects of your trip, whether that's the best days to book, how to avoid hidden fees, or which fancy travel credit cards pay off, and which ones are just an expensive flex. If you want your travel budget to work harder, then dive into the best deals, products, services, and more with Smart Travel from NerdWallet, wherever you get your podcasts.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. Text the guys at 206-803-ROCK from the Pinky's Plumbing Studio. You're in the men's room.
Men's Room 20th Anniversary World Tour stop number 3 this Saturday, Muckleshoot Casino, 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
A free show with the reunited New Original.
Because that's how much we're worth.
Now, if you have never seen a New Original show, you'd think that they would do a lot of New Original music. In fact, they never have even produced one song.
That is correct.
One original piece ever in the history of the band.
Mm-hmm.
But they have some new original covers that they're going to perform this Saturday at Muckleshoot.
That's correct.
In honor, coming up at 4:30 with Sit and Spin, 10 cover songs by rock's biggest bands.
And you know, for the New Originals, I will say this, we care about you so much, we're doing 2 practices.
Yeah. And there's some songs that you say, well, that doesn't seem like much, and then you go and you try to cover them, and you realize it's a more difficult song to play than you thought it would be.
There's a few bands like that, not because they're difficult to play, but their logic for how they choose to, the order of things, right? Sometimes throws you off. I will say the toughest song, and I think I speak for everyone in the band, maybe not the drummers, but guitars and bass, was freaking Christopher Cross, man.
Really?
Honest to God. We're like, oh, dude, what did we play? Was it Sailing? I don't remember what we played. I think it was Sailing. And we're like, oh, dude, we got this, right? So everyone kind of goes off on their own separate path to practice the tune. And in my head, I'm like, Jesus Christ, there's this one part that there's a difference when you play what studio musicians play versus what bands play. Bands are pretty simple to cover. Studio musicians are kind of a different breed, right? So we realize, okay, this is a studio musician song. So when we get to practice that day, again, I don't want to say out loud, like, I'm struggling in this part of Christopher Cross. And one of the guitar players is like, hey, man, is it just me or is this one part?
He's a session player. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, it's hard to play, man.
So, a New Originals free show, 2 o'clock. We will have the Men's Room IPA and the 20th Anniversary Lager from Black Raven there. Men's Room Beer Brats from Mooley's. The Men's Room Roasted Red Salsa from San Juan Salsa Company. So, as you're eating, you're drinking, you're having a good time at a free show, you will be benefiting our friends at the Fisher House, and you're going to drink with us. It's a free show, good times. We say cheers to 20 years. So, Sit and Spin coming up at 4:30. Our question, what did a family member do or what happened when you were with your family? 206-803-ROCK.
Quick text here, kind of piggybacking on my comment about my brother being a very good student, being a very decent guy. I'm 5 years behind him. I get in school. Teachers have expectations of me, and they found out we're very different. Basically, I sucked, and they hated me for that. So this guy says, my first day of 7th grade science class, the teacher got to my name during roll call, and when he stopped, he looks up at me, sitting in the back row of class, and says, are your brothers David and John? Now, I should have lied. It had been 10 plus years since they had that teacher, but he was still pissed at them for hacking into the computer and changing grades. So as soon as I said, yes, they're my family, the teacher immediately had me switch with a student in the front row, and that became my seat for the entire year. Everyone else could change, but never me. That's a bad legacy, man.
Yeah. What did a family member do or what happened when you were with your family? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Chris. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
You know, I can't say it enough. I got to say it again. You guys make the day better.
Oh, thank you,
man.
Really
I appreciate
it.
that. Thank you, man.
So, you know, I'm camping out with my brother years and years ago, and he's one of those weirdos that likes to roast his marshmallow and catch it on fire, then blow it out.
Yep. I thought that was the standard. Maybe I'm a weirdo, too.
Well,
I don't like
you know, some people are more patient and they like to roast it and get it nice and brown, but he likes it like char on fire. And one of the ways that he would blow his marshmallow out is just to take the stick and whip it back and forth to put the flame out.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so he catches it on fire. We're drunk. It's after dark. He catches his marshmallow on fire, and he whips the stick back and forth, and it flies off the end of his stick and disappears. Goes out in midair. We laughed, didn't think twice about it. And somewhere in the middle of the night, we go pass out in our sleeping bags. Wake up the next morning. It turns out his marshmallow had landed at the head of his sleeping bag.
Oh.
And it was stuck to the side of his head, all in his hair. Good times.
He was drunk enough that he didn't notice when he laid down.
Oh no, yeah, we were sheets.
Okay, I got you, man.
Yeah.
I like how you point out we were camping and we were drunk. It
At
was
least no one
after
fell in
dark.
the fire. It wasn't the worst thing that could ever happen.
Yeah, but there's always that guy. Happened to me last summer.
What's that?
We were roasting marshmallows and like if it catches on fire, it's one thing, but I'm not pro torching it and blowing it out.
Yeah.
Right? You got to be patient, right? But one guy couldn't help himself. He had to do it, and then he started waving it around when it was on fire. It launched over, basically just splat. But the marshmallow was bigger than even like the big one. So then my buddy is hammered. I don't think he realized there's like fire underneath him. And my buddy's wife is a tiny woman, but she, with one arm, she just like a parrot, like yanked him out of the way. But I was like, stop waving around flaming hot giant marshmallows.
Blow it out.
And you're right.
It's not a match, right?
It just, those people frustrate me.
Really?
Yeah.
You just silently get annoyed when they're waving their. Look, I don't necessarily light it on fire on purpose. I'm just not patient, and inevitably they burst into flames. And I've accepted that that's just how it's going to be.
Yeah.
So I'll blow it out and stick it. That's all. I could be patient, but I'm not. I'm just not. Man, we did. My kids wanted to do s'mores. We're not camping, but we have a fireplace. Years ago, and we're like, F it, fine. We'll do s'mores in the house. Don't do s'mores with little kids. Everything bursts into flames. And then they get upset. Like, oh, my marshmallows are on fire. I'm like, because you suck at this, man. I don't know what else to tell you.
Not only that, it was like 2 summers ago. I don't know how old that kid was. 3, 4? Miles, I don't know how to explain it to you, right? I sat there, I roasted it. They're like, yeah, he can have one. He's all fired up. I said, all right, make it, right? It's good. I hand it to him. I turn back around to put another marshmallow on a stick because somehow I'm kind of in charge, like these 4 kids.
Yeah.
I turn around and it's all over him. It's everywhere. Right. And he's just sitting there like, and I'm like, what? It's hard not to be like, what the F did you do?
What did you do in this little bit of time?
Right?
Like, did I have a seizure? Have I missed the last 30 minutes? How are you that
So then I
messy?
kind of look at the parents and they're like, it's not your fault. They're just kids. But I'm like, what happened?
Right.
Jesus.
All you want to know.
Here's one.
It's all over him.
My cousin's a criminal, but an inept one. Unable to hold down a real job, he turned to petty burglary one Christmas when he stole all the presents from under the tree while the family was together at a Christmas show.
Jesus,
no
man.
signs of forced entry. Everyone suspected him. Couldn't prove it until he was caught a month later, actually using a laptop that was one of the Christmas gifts.
Are you kidding?
But because he's family, no one pressed charges. Here's another. My cousin robbed a taxi driver at knife point when the taxi had arrived at the destination. That was my cousin's home. And yes,
Jesus.
He ended up going to jail. Our question, what did a family member do or what happened when you were with your family? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Justin. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
So I texted him about my uncle crashing through a fence. Not the same story, but same uncle. I was basically, I'm at my house with my whole family over. My grandma and my uncle were down from Canada. And my uncle got pissed drunk, but won McDonald's. So me having a learner's permit and being the only one in the house not drunk, he recruited me to take me to McDonald's. He said, I'll teach you some valuable lessons about driving and how to eat a burger while you're driving. I'm like, okay, cool, sounds good. So we do all that. I have to blow into the car.
Oh, he's already got a blow and go in there.
Yeah.
Oh, he was on, I believe, his 3rd or 4th DUI in Canada at that point. I think he had two interstate.
Damn.
Well, I wonder why it is that if you have one DUI, you can't get into Canada.
Right.
But you could have 9 million of them and get into the United States. You would think that they would be like, it'd be an even
It's
trade.
a felony in Canada.
Yeah, it's a felony, man.
Yeah, but you'd still think it'd be an even trade, just as far as getting across the border. Like, okay, you guys do that, we should do the same thing.
Yeah, but we don't care here. That's why you get guys
Apparently
like
not.
15 DUIs before they finally take his license.
Yeah.
But all right, so you're going to McDonald's.
Oh, yeah. So we go to McDonald's, and he's like, all right, go ahead and then order. So we get Let's see here. He gets a Big Mac, and I get a double quarter pound with cheese. Good old stuff. And we start driving, and I'm like, yep, I'll eat it when I get home. He's like, no, you won't. You're going to put one burger in your hand right now. You're going to eat that. While you're driving, you need to know how to eat one-handed driving. I'm like, this makes sense. But he's like, and you got to figure out how to use the other hand to prop the burger while you take some of your soda, too. I'm like, okay. This is a valuable lesson, how to order from a drive-thru and how to freaking eat while you're driving. I appreciate his drunk ass for teaching me that, and I always will.
Is he, how's he doing now? Is he still around?
No.
I figured.
Long story short, my grandma found at the bottom of his boat, and, yeah, there's that. But
wow.
the other story is brilliant. He literally, like, crashed through the neighbor's fence, drunk, and anyway, went into my grandparents' house, got into the cabinet, grabbed a whole bottle of Jameson, drank half of it. That way, when the cops got there, he was drunk from the trauma. So he went to his to his parents' house and got some booze because he was in shock. And the cops believed him and got scot-free. That was the only time that he didn't get a DUI.
I've heard that move before. Wow. Like, look, if you drive drunk, like, in front of your own home, they're like, well, lawyers would say, go into your house, find whatever booze you have, and start guzzling that. And even though the cops know it's complete BS, it's hard to prove that you were drunk behind the wheel. Right, because they go in and it's like, well, he was visibly drunk. Of that, there's no question. His argument is that he drove sober, and obviously when he got home, he started drinking, and we can corroborate that, yes, he was guzzling a bottle of blank while he was sitting in his house.
Here's a couple more, guys.
Or don't drive drunk.
Yeah. I have a cousin who's a nurse. She rose to a small bit of TikTok fame. She would post videos talking about how she would have no problem unplugging someone's ventilator at the hospital for a few minutes to plug in her phone. Whoa. Now, there were a few of these videos, and each one made you wonder what the hell was wrong with her. She was promptly fired from her job.
Good.
Another, my aunt embezzled money from the family company, close to $250,000 in cash.
The family company?
The same aunt did the books for the company, had all three of her sons' cars in the company name. She also taught her sons how to commit insurance fraud, ran up close to $10K on my grandmother's credit cards at a casino, tried to steal belongings of my grandmother's to pawn. She's finally getting what's coming to her. She's been taken out of the will, and the embezzlement and fraud cases are now pending.
Good. Come on.
I got a crazy story with my stepdad. We were living in Detroit, Michigan at the time, and in the Italian culture, there's a big interest in boxing as far as promoting upcoming fighters, getting involved in helping them pay for training, all that stuff. You know, like anything else, if they do well, a bit of the purse might come your way.
Sure.
Depending on how you finance the stuff. And they just really wanted to get into, they were already working with a couple guys at the Kronk Gym, which was a famous gym in Detroit. And so they wanted to put on some amateur boxing and pro boxing. So they started out doing amateur boxing, and it was going pretty well. And they filled the venue up, made money, the whole deal. So they didn't decide that the next time around, they're going to have a little bit bigger of a venue, and the boxers are going to be a little bit bigger of a deal.
Yeah.
So now you've got a couple guys on there that are professional fighters fighting on the card. The whole thing's going to be like 6 fights. Most of the guys are local, but the big name guy is like the heavyweight champion of that area. And he's going to take on a guy from Norfolk, Virginia.
Okay.
And he is the heavyweight champion of that area, blah, 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 blah. At that point in time, they just had the names of the fighters. They might have had 1 or 2 small black and white pictures. But as far as the headliner...
All super pixelated.
Yeah,
that,
the main event, all right, there was no pictures of the fighters. But you knew who the local champion was. You knew that guy's name, and you knew he was taking on some guy out of Virginia, Navy guy, some crap, blah, 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 blah. So, they almost sell this thing out beforehand. And there's a few standing tickets left. 2 days before the fight, my uncle, who's promoting this thing, gets a call from the trainer in Norfolk and says, hey, man, our guy's in jail. So, they're like, oh, crap. They've almost completely sold this thing out.
Yeah.
They've already made money. So my uncle calls a buddy of his that's also has a gym in Ohio. And he calls up and he says, listen, man, I need a big favor. I need one of your better heavyweights to come up and, and act like he is this fighter. All right. And the guy's like, no problem. I got your guy. All right. So they send this guy up, and they're going to pay this guy to act like that he is really the heavyweight champion of Norfolk, Virginia. Apparently, this guy comes up, and he's older. He is grotesquely out of weight. Oh, no. He is not in shape, and it doesn't even look like this guy. There's no way in hell that this guy... the guy comes out without a belt on, first of all, because he did not have a belt. Okay. So, number one, he's the champion, but did not bring his belt. He's a champion, but doesn't have a belt. All right. Apparently, within 20 seconds of the heavyweight fight, the guy throws a punch and misses this guy completely. It's very, very obvious, but the guy takes a fall. And the place goes nuts, all right? I mean, people are losing their mind because they're like, this is crap. This is not legitimate boxing. So people want a refund. So my grandmother is working the gate. My grandfather goes up and goes, Mary, you take all the money. You get the F out of here. You take off now. We'll try to maintain the crowd. They basically had a mini riot in that arena because of the last fight of the night. Apparently all the other fights went off without a hitch. Sure. Everything was good. But what was supposed to be the title fight ended up being a complete disaster. And I think that was the last time that they ever tried to do any boxing. I was going to ask, what's the follow-up on that, right? Because now everyone knows you as the promoter, right? So they're done with the promotion game, but were people looking for them weeks and months later? They just want their money back. Yeah, because basically the reason they were paying was to see this main fight. And it was a 15-round fight back then. So it was going to be an hour and a half, And
it's kind of, that's very specific, just having a different guy. Yeah. But, I have a buddy, he got into it for a little bit, too. That's why it's hard, and, you know what I mean? Guys just come in overweight, this or that. Well, especially if there's a last-minute call-up. But I'm saying it happens all the time. That's why boxing promotions and fight promotions are so tough. Yeah. Because it seems like generally they go the way Miles is saying, as opposed to, a good organization that's run and it still happens. So a fight, it was probably 6 or 7 years ago. It's a fight on ESPN. I love boxing, right? So... it's somewhere in the middle of the card, and I do not remember who's fighting, but this is a young up-and-comer. Okay, so he's looking for guys to fight to kind of prove himself, and they do point out at the top of the broadcast, hey, he was supposed to fight Miles Montgomery, whatever happened, sickness, blah, 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 but the Ted Smith, journeyman boxer, right? You always hear that. He's been around for 7 years. His record is 50-50 with wins and losses, but, he can teach this young guy kind of how to box, but, it'll still be a good thing for him. So you get to this card, and they bring this guy out, and he's not out of shape, but he's clearly older than the young up-and-comer, and he's got a little bit of the old man fat on him, but still kind of built. Well, old journeyman beats the living piss. Oh, yeah, this is not how it's supposed to go, man. So then they're kind of like, oh, no. Even the broadcast is like, oh, no, because whoever was the title fight, obviously they're promoting that most, but the next thing they wanted you to see was young up-and-comer Miles Montgomery. This guy might be the future of his weight class, blah, blah, blah. Hey, thank God this journeyman stepped in with 2 weeks. Journeyman went in and beat the hell out of this guy in 2 rounds, and they're kind of like, we don't know how to make this any better. And it wasn't fixed. Journeyman, he knew how to box. He might not have been the best boxer, but he knew how to box. Well, the other guy, young up-and-comer, had, a strong right or something like that. Mm-hmm. But dude knew how to block it. And then you realize, dude has no more game than that. So young up-and-comer is 21 years old. That's the last I heard of the guy. Yeah. He just got... Their promotion company basically folded after that night. Yes! But they still supported boxers. So my Uncle Rudy... he put a bunch of money into the trainer of a guy named Emmanuel Stewart, who was a pretty good fighter. I know Emmanuel Stewart, for a while. I don't know him, but they got a little bit of return on some of the investment. Well, Emmanuel Stewart also, he's the reason you know the Kronk Gym.
Yeah. Oh, is he? Oh, he's a legendary trainer.
He trained so many boxers out of there, and this and that. I always forget, but Tommy Hearns, when he's dominating the 80s and everything else. So, that was always a thing. Fortunately, it burned down, but to be the main guy at the Kronk Gym, because everybody just assumed you had to be the best boxer there was, arguably in your weight class of the States.
Yeah, Emmanuel Stewart was no joke. And the worst thing is, because he was legendary, they'd always felt the need to interview him. And my man clearly had taken some blows in his life. You know what I mean? Hey, Emmanuel, what do you
he just didn't care.
What do you think of this guy? Stop interviewing him.
I like your show, and I admire your style. But you pay so cheap, I won't be back for a while.
10 cover songs by Rock's biggest bands coming up at 4:30. We will sit and spin. And we got your emails coming up next in the men's room at KISW.com.
Spring's here. Flowers are blooming, birds are singing, and allergies, yeah, they're back too. Sneezing, watery eyes, when they hit, you need a tissue fast. That's where Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues come in. Whether you're at home or on the go, Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues have you covered. Allergist-approved Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues are gentle on your eyes and nose, so you can power through allergy season without missing a beat. Because while allergies are unpredictable, staying prepared is easy. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.
At Cardinal Heating and Air, we elevate your comfort with expert HVAC solutions. In the greater Seattle area, our decades of experience have fostered lasting relationships built on quality service. Whether you need AC repair, heating repair, routine maintenance, a new installation, or an emergency fix, you can trust Cardinal Heating and Air, now offering electrical services. Experience the exceptional service and peace of mind that Cardinal Heating and Air delivers today and for years to come.
I love the Marquette community. I think, it to me resembles a family of some sort.
You are coming to a place that is not only going to give you a great education, but I think it's going to make you a very well-rounded individual.
Especially because of the size, you can definitely find your people. I came in and it was open arms. While you're here, we're going to try to make you feel that same love and make this place home. We are Marquette.
We are Marquette.
We are Marquette.
We are Marquette.
Now at Verizon, we have some big news for your peace of mind. For all our customers, existing and new, we're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on My Plan and My Home. That's future you peace of mind. And everyone can save on a brand new phone on My Plan when you trade in any phone from one of our top brands. That's new phone peace of mind. Because at Verizon, whether you're already a customer or you're just joining us, we got you. Visit Verizon today. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
The brand new Grand Casino and Shoreline is now open. Step into the action with Vegas-style table games like Baccarat, Heads Up Hold'em Poker, Pai Gow, Blackjack, and High Card Flush. Feeling hungry? Feast on delicious Chinese, Vietnamese, and continental dishes plus breakfast favorites. Dine in or take out. And don't miss daily happy hours from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. to midnight. Grand Casino and Shoreline off Aurora. Open daily from 9 a.m. to 4 a.m. Visit GrandCasinoGaming.com. Welcome to the Grand Experience.
At Danner, we believe our beloved trails will always need footsteps to keep the paths from fading, and those journeys are often better when shared. The Women's Trail Trainer was built by women for women who embrace the outdoors. Rally your girls, lace up, and blaze the trail. Resurge midsoles provide next-level comfort, while Danner's Precision Fit technology offers more custom fit with optimal support. Breathe in the scenery and feel right at home in the dirt. Explore the Women's Trail Trainer at danner.com.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Then fly with Condor Airlines. With nonstop flights to Frankfurt, Germany, there are great connection options to several cities. Whether it's the romantic streets of Paris or the stunning beaches of Barcelona, Condor will start your vacation by offering comfortable and spacious cabins. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today.
When water from the pipes was pouring down, filed a claim with Hiscox.
We turned it around. Across America, over 600,000 small businesses look to Hiscox Insurance for protection. Find flexible coverage that adapts to the needs of your small business with a fast, easy online quote at Hiscox.com.
'Cause there's no business like small business.
Like no business we know. Get a quote today with Hiscox Small Business Insurance.
Hey, what's the easiest way to find out what channel the game's on? Sports on What? Subscribe to the Sports on What app and quickly find the channel for every provider. Satellite, cable, or streaming. Sports on What knows the channel the game is on, and you can too. Download today.
We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Sit and spin on the way at 4:30. 10 cover songs by Rock's biggest bands. But first, time for a few emails to the men's room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
But on today's question, what happened with the family? Guys, down in Vegas for my sister's wedding. Most dramatic wedding ever. But this story is about a few days before. 20 years old. Today is the day we need to go get our tuxes from the Men's Warehouse. All my brother-in-law's relatives are all older than I am. They're drunk and high. So I got to be the driver. No big deal. We get the tuxes, then we're driving up the Las Vegas Boulevard to get back to the Excalibur Hotel. I'm driving, they're smoking weed and drinking Hennessy in the car. We get to a stoplight, and now it's, Andy, drink this. No, I can't. I'm driving. Soon as we get there, I'll stop being a little bitch and drink this. They're going on and on and on and on. Mind you, I'm a $140, 5'5" white guy. My new brother-in-law and his brother and cousins, they're large men from Compton. Drink this now, or I'm getting out of the sunroof and drinking. So I take my swig of warm ass Hennessy on Las Vegas Boulevard at 3 p.m. Good times. A precursor to the wedding drama, I guess. That's from Andy Mack.
Damn.
Oh, I know Andy.
Yeah.
I mean, no offense, but yeah, Andy's kind of a smaller dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, like I'll drink some Hennessy, but man, just putting back a shot of it just out of nowhere is not pleasant.
In the middle of the day when it's warm and in Vegas.
Yeah.
The heat in Vegas does not, I don't think it allows brown liquor to be a safe call.
Not outdoors, no.
No, anywhere. I think you got to drink vodka. I think you need to drink gin. You could have some tequila. But man, if it's dark and warm and heavy, God, that's just like, you're going to throw up.
It is, but I'm guessing those guys, like sometimes just cultural things too, like those guys aren't going to sit around and put down beers.
Nope. No, ain't going to happen.
Right.
On to the birthdays, which are brought to you by Men's Room Roasted Red Salsa from San Juan Salsa Company.
Wait, hang on. I'm on this.
Dip responsibly.
Pacholos, could you please wish my dear friend and coworker Amanda a very happy birthday? Big fan of you guys, and we bonded over talking about your show every day. Tomorrow, by the way, her last day as my coworker, but she'll be a friend for life. So please give her a barbershop quartet fish sandwich. And oh my God, what the F is that, bro? The angry bagel guy, you're not my father. That would mean a lot to her. Happy birthday, Amanda Panda. Thanks for you guys doing what you always do and stay beautiful. That from the Ginger Midget.
Can I get a fish sandwich? Oh, you know I gotta eat right. Oh, brother, can I have a fish sandwich? You put the cheese and the tartar on the side.
Oh, my God, what the is that, bro?
You're not God or my father or my boss.
Old Joe is writing to wish a happy 43rd birthday to my husband, Chris. He is a loving husband and a hardworking dad. Love him so much. How about your penis is too small? A fish sandwich and a cut that bitch off. Maybe some green beans. Thanks, guys. That's from Nicole in Arlington.
Here I get a fish sandwich.
Cut that bitch off. Nicole.
Green bean. What? Green bean.
Okay.
Green bean.
Ja. All right, gentlemen, today's my dad Tony's 71st birthday. I am so glad he's my dad, and he still kicks butt riding his bicycle long distances without breaking a sweat. Also knows how to appreciate a fine scotch or a red Bordeaux. So, can he get a hippo fart, a Van Halen woohoo, and the captain boasting about how he won the mascot's annual spring bicycle race. Love you, Dad, and rock on. That from Alex and from Melanie. Who's got the Van Halen woohoo?
Oh, you want me to do the woohoo? My bad.
Yeah, come on, man.
Get you some
Do the
woohoo.
woohoo.
I thought you were going to do the woohoo.
You got the woohoo in.
Well, ahoy there. Woohoo to you, David. Okay, that's enough. Well, speaking to a fellow bike rider, it turns out I did win our annual spring mascot bike race. And it's all the mascots from breakfast cereals, fast food chains, you name it, they were in it. But I did win, not because I'm more athletic or anything. It's just that the other mascots are actually in the butt stuff. So none of them ride with seats on the bike, but they all sit down, if you know what I mean. Crunch berries.
All right, guys, here you go.
Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ja, the Dirty Germans, brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Mmm, Schweinefleisch.
Think about a couple extra emails, guys. Road sites. What did you see while driving or in the car? Guys, I was 18 or 19. I was back in town from college, and my mom wanted to go to lunch. On the freeway, a car passed by at a high rate of speed, and the passenger was mooning us out of the window. Not only was he mooning us, he had tucked his hog and satchel between his legs. The largest penis I've ever seen in my life was flapping in the wind. It was remarkable. My mom didn't understand what was going on, and I didn't even try to explain. Thank you guys, and congrats on 20 years. That from Dan. What else? Childhood scare. Ola Bachel's catching up on the podcast on the Odyssey app. Wanted to drop a quick one about your question about what scared you as a child. Well, I was born in Wisconsin, lived in an apartment after my parents divorced. My brother and I lived with my mother, kitty corner from Regner Park in West Bend. In the wintertime, the city would put these boxes on street corners. They're about 3 feet wide by 3 feet tall and filled them with sand. So one day I'm about 4 or 5, and my older brother and I were playing in the box about this time of the year because we couldn't cross the street to the park. Just 2 kids pushing Hot Wheels around and whatnot. I don't remember what I did to my brother, but while in the box later in the day, he closed the lid and then clasped the top on the box.
Oh.
It seemed like hours. That turned to such a longer time. I cried like I couldn't cry anymore. Then I passed out and slept. I remember waking up when the lid opened. It was a fireman who found me and picked me up. My mom was frantic, and my brother was in his room bawling. Turns out it was the next morning. Oh. And the police, fire, and neighbors searched for me all night. My brother finally told everyone in the morning where I was. Took me years to get over small spaces and the dark. Thought I'd share. Thanks, guys. That from South Dakota Matt.
Damn.
Okay, coming up, we'll drink and tell us for the shot of the day, but first...
Yes, friends, it's time once again for Sit and Spin. Let's gather around the old radio and listen to some swellerific new music.
Men's Room World Tour 20th Anniversary Edition, stop number 3 this Saturday at Muckleshoot Casino.
Yeah, man.
It's a free show starting at 2 o'clock with the reunited New Originals, a well-known cover band, so to speak, in the area.
Yeah.
How long is the set? Are you guys doing 2 or 3 different...
It's going to be 3 different sets, as I understand it. We'll do a set of 5, followed by another set of 5, followed by the coup d'etat, the final 2 songs.
Who
12
picks,
songs.
Who picks
That's
the
how it's
songs?
breaking down?
That's
Damn.
my understanding, bro.
All right.
You get to
closing the
think
show?
about it all day, Ted. Allowed your
Look,
voices.
Let's just say what it is. All right. A lot of the reason the band has stayed broken up is Mike and I.
Yeah.
All right. Like,
Obviously.
yeah, other people play instruments. We're the singers. We each sing a song. We dominate.
You got the egos.
Yeah.
It is what
singer
it is.
disease.
Yeah, LSD, lead singer's disease.
Yeah,
What,
you were freaking eyeballing me way too much last night. You know the rules when I sing. Nobody look at me. Only the audience. But yes, Mike and I, we're going to bring the fire at the end of it.
It's a absolutely free show. The show starts at 2. Hopefully you'll be able to stop by, get some Men's Room IPA, and haven't tried the 20th anniversary lager. We'll have that as well. The sausages and the sausage station that they do at Muckleshoot Casino.
Oh, yeah.
It is awesome. If you've never tried the brats, the Men's Room brats from Uli, we'll also have the Men's Room roasted red salsa there from San Juan Salsa Company. And all those products benefit our friends at the Fisher House.
Yep.
So you're giving back to a great charity while you join us for an absolutely free show at 2 o'clock. Now, as the New Originals are a cover band, today we're in the world of covers, and we have 10 cover songs by rock's biggest bands. Now, these are not the most popular covers in the world. We've taken most of these out of the equation simply because they're too easy to figure out who the artist is or what the cover is. As far as covers go, what are some of your guys' favorite versions of cover songs in your lifetime?
I mean, Ted nailed it earlier with All Along the Watchtower, and much like Ted, I was much later in life before I realized it was a Bob Dylan tune, so I made it a point, well, let me listen to Dylan's tune. They're not even the same song at that point. No. And Dylan even said it's a Jimi Hendrix song now.
Yeah.
Right?
Growing up, I like Blinded by the Light from Manfred Mann's Earth Band.
I never realized I was a cover until
That's a
later.
cover?
Yeah.
It is, but they do a different version than Springsteen. So I appreciate when someone takes a song.
All right.
It makes it their own.
Yeah, it makes it their
Didn't
own.
he not like their version?
I would imagine no.
Yeah, but the thing, it's a great, I almost cuss, it's a very good song. So, I mean, look, even if you're an artist and someone does your song better than you, it might hit your ego a little bit, but still credit, like, man, that's a great song.
Been a minute since we played it. Bad Wolves' version of Zombie from the Cranberries.
Yeah, they do a pretty good job on that.
I
man.
like that one. I think it's a good one.
I think maybe you should have been a little easier on David Draymond then.
Well, look, man.
Now
I
you're
wasn't
giving people credit for
saying-
making it their own.
I did not say he did a bad job. I just said if you're going to brag that you have the number one rock song, it's like, well, yeah, it's not yours. That's all. I mean, look, congratulations to him, but it has to be kind of weird. Like, hey, our first number one charting song, we didn't write it.
No.
Yeah.
What's Miles? What's the one we love? Cake. They cover "I Will Survive."
Oh, they do a great job
cool
with that.
version of that.
Yeah. There's a lot of great covers out there. So today, these are not, you know some of these covers for sure. We're either going to try to guess the band that's playing the cover or the original artist.
Okay.
And see if we can figure out who is who on this.
Is this a contest?
Well, it's not necessarily a
Are
contest.
you feeling competitive?
If you want it to be,
Then
all right.
yes.
All right, game on. Here we go. Okay. All right. Mike knows all the answers, so
Oh, this Bosch miter saw really is smooth. Feeling smooth. Who said that? It's your inner Bosch, baby. I'm that scoobity-bebop smooth feeling you get when you make smooth cuts with that moobity-mibbity-mibbity-mubbity miter saw. So I'll just keep ski-bop sawing then? Now you're getting it. Beep-bop, beat-up, wow, miter saw is my
The more
favorite.
you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch. The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are designed to outlast and outlive, backed by Toyota's legendary reputation for reliability. So get in a Tundra with the available iForce Max hybrid engine, delivering exceptional torque and towing capacity. Or check out a Tacoma. With available off-road features like crawl control, it can take you beyond the trails. Toyota trucks are built to last. So don't wait. Get yours today. Visit buyatoyota.com for deals and more. Toyota, let's go places.
$50,000 to $80,000 to repair and replace a broken sewer? That stinks.
Well, that's what you get when you buy an older home.
We don't have that kind of money. I mean, who does?
Well, don't wait until it's too late. Call Pinky's.
Pinky's?
Yes, Darlene. Pinky's Plumbing. They do everything plumbing, even sewer and drain cleaning. A little preventative maintenance now will save you a big headache later. Just schedule it at pinkysplumbing.com.
Oh, thanks, Ethel.
Plumbing backs up and things get stinky. Call Pinky's.
coming up here at 5:08, we'll drink a toast for the shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check on Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Well, thank you, Miles. New survey results show that young French women are having loads of sex again.
I saw that.
Good for them.
Booking a trip to France.
Exactly. I don't know what stymied it. I didn't look into it all that much. I just know that, like, it's happening over there. So, for whatever it is, the pheromones are going on, and
That means they want to get laid.
the birds are in the air, the bees are out there as well. And
Yeah, it is that easy.
That's right.
They want to have sex.
It is springtime in France.
And they can always find volunteers. Ain't a whole lot of math that goes into this.
That's right. Scientists have developed a gum that apparently traps flu and herpes viruses.
Ooh.
Put that on
swallow
the
it.
gum wall.
Flu shot. My ass.
Yeah.
The whole idea is to keep transmissions down there. So I don't know.
But is
like,
it just in your mouth?
How did you get rid of it? How did you get rid of it? Hubba bubba.
That would be kind of awesome.
Hubba bubba herpy.
Yeah, really. Herpy gone, hubba bubba.
Herpy gone.
I don't think it gets rid of it. I think it just captures it so that it can't spread.
Herpa burpa.
But that still says that you're going to end up having to like make out with some chick.
Well, what if,
while
you
you're
have,
chewing
what if you
gum.
have, what if you have genital herpes?
That's right.
You have to have
Like,
someone else hook you up on that. If you have oral, I get it. But if not, you're going to need an assistant.
Right.
Maybe that's why they introduced it.
Here, maybe I'll take care of that.
Let me just throw some gum on there.
Just give me a second.
Hang on. I gotta
I'll be right back.
I gotta lube it up. You gotta activate
I'll be
it.
right back.
I need to have this gum here like a chaw while I'm getting after it.
He spit on it. Now he has his own podcast.
Yeah. And crypto.
Oh, God. There's a new Yahoo article that claims most people are using the term ironic wrong.
No kidding.
Isn't that ironic?
He basically used it as... It's the same with like the word literally. How people just use that wrong
For
all
everything,
the time.
yeah.
And
I was
ironically,
literally starving. No, you.
Literally, I get, though, because people just... Not saying they should, but they just say it.
Yeah.
they do.
But ironic seems kind of...
Yeah, it is.
There's only one way to use it.
Like, he even had an example of his buddy that did something, and it was just completely wrong. It was, he forgot his sunglasses in the car. How ironic on such a sunny day. It's like, no, that's just unfortunate.
It's funny when Alanis Morissette put out the song "Ironic." Somebody broke it down. Said this is a series of coincidences.
Right, he brought
she
that
has
up,
not
too.
pointed out one irony in the song.
Right, there's one that's like a mild irony, but nothing else.
So what I said to my cousin a few weeks ago, I said, ironically, we had to go to a separate liquor store to get the NA beers. Or is that not ironic?
I think that counts as irony.
Yeah.
Because you had to go to a liquor store to get a non-alcoholic beverage.
Right, because we had to go to a
words.
separate liquor store to get the NA beers.
Right. That does not have alcohol. So it's using words to convey the opposite of their literal meaning.
But it could also be like, okay, potato farmer chokes some guys on a French fry.
I believe that is irony.
Yes.
Or no,
What do you
actually,
mean?
that
That would be
might just
coincidental.
count. That's coincidental and unfortunate.
Yes, it is unfortunate.
There's no
It's
irony in
coincidental.
there.
There's no irony.
No.
Which I agree with you, Miles.
Okay,
Like
all
there
right,
should be
okay,
some
okay.
irony. The guy's a doggone potato
Well, I
farmer.
think
Like he's made his livelihood off
because
potatoes.
we're changing the definition,
Yeah.
but by definition, it is not ironic at all.
I see. Okay, so I'm using it wrong there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Irony would be like an oxymoron, like jumbo shrimp. That's an ironic name.
Okay.
You're saying jumbo, that describes something big, and shrimp, even though it's an animal, describes something small. Right?
Okay. Like I was agreeing with him for a little while there. Then honestly, as I was going through, it's like, all right, you're being a little bit persnickety about irony.
I think I literally have been using ironic wrong.
Literally, you have.
Your buddy who runs the Big and Tall store, or used to, is that
Yes.
irony?
Okay, so
Because he's not big or tall.
So he is the manager of a Big and Tall in Orlando, Florida. Okay, he is 5'4".
About to say, is he
because when he
noticeably-
told me, I hadn't seen him in years. I'm like, what do you do now? And he's like, man, I don't even want to tell you. And I'm like, what? And he's like, I'm the manager of a Big and Tall. And I laughed for like 20 minutes because brother's always been the tiny guy, right? He's built like a brick ass house,
Right.
But still, he can fit in children's clothes, right? So he's 5'4", but is the manager of the Big and Tall. And he said when big ass customers come in and they have a question that goes beyond the sales floor, and they're like, hey, let me just see the manager. And he's like, when I walk out, they think they're like I'm punked or something, you know? He's like, it sucks, dude. You're talking to some guy who's 6'8", 320, wants to know about something, you know, and he's like, my little ass walks out there and they're like, come on.
It's like walking into a gym and then the receptionist wheels their chair around and they're 400 pounds.
Right. Or a boxer with no arms. Like, but he's undefeated.
He's undefeated. Nobody will go against him. Research is.
Yeah. And I hate to say this, but I'm kind of with Miles. I do find it ironic sometimes when I go to the doctors. And some of the people that work in the office, it's like, does the doctor never ask you?
Right. Did they never check up on you, bud?
Yeah.
You remember the building we used to work in, right?
Okay.
In the 4th and 5th floor, they were not doctors, but they
Right.
worked basically in billing or whatever for a major medical institution. Every single one of them is going to die prematurely.
Yes.
I mean, just looked at him like, wait, I'm talking to you about my medical stuff. Okay.
You need to get checked out.
Yeah. You got everything.
Right. Steve, do you know what week we're celebrating here, my friend?
No, but tell him, Mike.
Ted, you're getting close. What are you thinking?
Now, next week would be Holy Week.
No. Next week is Weed Week.
That's right.
Nothing can go wrong
Sweet.
there.
Yeah.
But no, this is Be Kind to Spiders Week.
No.
The Men's Top 10. 10 facts about spiders for curious grown-ups or scared to death big babies like Steve the Thrill Hill.
Goddamn right.
Here's my take on this dandy little children's song. The itsy bitsy spider climbed up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. And the itsy bitsy spider got beaten to death with a 2x4 scooped up, tossed in an old coffee can, doused with lighter fluid and set on fire while I screamed, burn in hell, spawn of Satan.
Is he just watching nature stuff? Yesterday, beavers. Today,
I know.
spiders.
He's on a Nat Geo kick
Okay.
right now.
All right.
So these are some.
Well, you should know how to catch smuggler.
Damn right.
Oh, yeah.
I watch that one all the time. Catch smuggler.
Peru. You guys can talk about it. Peru. They got smugglers in Peru?
Like, actually, it's one of the busiest drug-trafficked airports in the world.
All right,
I
but
can
you
tell
know,
I've watched the show.
You know who's not trafficking drugs? Spiders. We got some fun spider facts for you. A few arachnids have social networks.
Oh, good. That's even better.
Yeah, it's called a web.
Most of these creepy
World Wide Web, hey.
Most of these creepy crawlies prefer to live and hunt alone, but social spiders live in large colonies and work together to weave webs, which they share to catch their prey.
Brother, that is a guaranteed burning on my part.
Yeah.
One spider, you get the shoe. If I realize there's a colony of spiders, you will die a merciless death.
We've got in our little porch awning area, there is a little spider mama with her little egg sac that's been there throughout the entirety of winter. We were scared that she died there for a minute. But now that sac is starting to thin out, we can see little itty bitty white dots in there. And I told my wife, I was like, we need to get rid of that like now.
That needs to burn.
It's about to pop.
I can deal with them outside. It's once they get in my house, it's like you're going to die.
Good news, Steve. There are vegetarian species of spiders.
Boy, it's a shame I have to kill them.
Meet the Bagheera Kipling jumping spider.
Yeah, it annoys all the other spiders.
I think Granddaddy Longlegs as well.
But that's not actually a spider.
Oh, look at this little guy. He's a little vegetarian. Little vegetarian spider.
Oh, good. What comes out of you when I smash you with my shoe? I'm killing a healthy spider.
I'm killing a health spider. Spiders like a liquid lunch. Despite their fearsome venom, large fangs, and powerful jaws, spiders use enzymes to help liquefy their food before they eat it.
And think about that. I'm going to bite you, but I'm going to eat you later.
This is going to shock you, but some arachnids are dangerous. The most dangerous spiders to humans are do you have any idea there, Steve?
I mean, I guess the black widow. I know it's not the top.
They go with the Goliath bird eater.
Okay, it's in the name.
Well, that's in the name.
The Brazilian wandering.
It has no hair.
It's an absolute
a naked
spider,
yeah, with a great ass.
And then the banana spider. I think those are the big ass sons of bitches that you see in actually the bunches of bananas.
I'm going to hate this, but I'm going to Google it.
Yes, you are. Hang on, I'm going to Google it for you, and I'm going to show you this bad boy. Oh yeah, never mind. You don't see that guy in a thing of bananas. It's just a big, gross yellow spider.
Brother, it does not matter. If I see that, it is dying.
God bless it. No, I'm okay. Be nice to spiders. Jesus. I'll be nice by letting him be all the way the hell over there. What's the one that's like parachuting in over on the East Coast?
Oh, that's aren't they invasive?
Like an Asian spider or something like that?
Yeah, like they make their web and basically the wind snatches up the web and they just kind of go where the wind blows them. Like what are the little seeds every spring?
The like the dandelion seeds.
Yeah, basically like that. So the wind picks them up and they just kind of go. That is not okay.
No, it's not.
That is not okay.
Show up.
For Be Nice to Spiders Week, we're covering some spider facts. Spiders have amazing senses. That's why there's a superhero named after one. Although they have 8 eyes, most spiders have poor eyesight.
Right, you got all those eyes that can't see.
I know, right? Instead, they rely on their incredible hearing, taste, and smell. They use the hairs on their legs like an extra pair of ears to pick up vibrations and understand how close or far away an object is. Spiders use scent and taste to communicate with other spiders. A male black widow can even tell if a female black widow is hungry by smelling and tasting the chemicals in her web.
Damn.
Oh.
Huh. So do they stick around then? Because like they make the web and then they just chill out for a while. Do they smell like she was hungry when she made this part?
Let's be honest though.
Is that like
everybody in here has either been married or I've never been married, but I've had long-term girlfriends. Like you can tell when they're hungry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I'm the spider's not getting all this credit.
I don't think it's any different.
Yeah, like I don't know. I could just sense she's hungry or angry.
That's where me and the spider we commiserate. Like, all right, brother, I feel you on that.
It's the chemicals on her web. No, she's angry cleaning the damn thing.
Yeah.
I just don't know why I'm so worked up.
Right? When's the last time you ate?
That's right.
I'm dead serious.
Hell yes.
And some people just eat, and to their credit, they eat on such a routine.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, one girl I knew, I'd just be like, has it been longer than 5 hours? Like, let's get you a snack.
My wife will call me out because she is very happy and she's in a great mood, and I'll say, what do you feel like eating? She says, oh, you don't want me to crash? No, I don't want you to crash.
You're in a great spot.
We're having a great time right now, and that's about to be ruined because I know you're almost hungry.
Yeah.
You are lightest before the dark.
Here it comes.
Did I say what, Mike? I've got to the age where I disagree with, I don't care.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just women anymore.
That's not it even anymore, Ted. Like, what do you want? Like, I can find anything. They don't know what they want.
I'm just saying. You suggest, I don't know, vegan? Sure.
Let's do it. I don't know what I want. Okay, well, let's go over here. I don't want that. No.
Okay. Why don't you tell me what you want?
Exactly. I don't know what I want. Well, think about it for the next 6 hours.
Breaking it up.
Because you're going to get angry. Some spiders are critically endangered, much to the chagrin of our own Steve.
Yeah.
One of the rarest and most beautiful spiders in the world is the peacock parachute spider. Because of its gorgeous blue color, it's also known as the Gooty sapphire. It's found in only one place in the world, a single patch of forest near Gooty in West Bengal, India.
I'm not going there.
Sadly, its survival is at risk because of tree felling. Oh, no.
Maybe that's why.
Oh, no.
I mean, normally I'm not for tree
Cut
felling.
down the trees. The spiders are down our trees.
Like, where are those places where there's fields that are just coated with spider web?
Oh, I've seen those pictures, man. Where is
Those are
that?
disgusting.
It's crazy.
There's a special name for fear of spiders.
Arachnophobia?
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you, movie, for letting everyone know.
This is some children's facts here.
And Thrill's right. If it wasn't for the movie, we wouldn't all know that.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, the movie basically educated 100% of people.
I'm going to save that one for the last one here. Spiders like to dance. Many species of spider use dances to
Get your freak on. Get your freak on. That's what all the glow sticks are.
Put your 8 legs in the air, wave them like you just don't care.
Not a lot of spiders in song.
No, there's not.
No, not
Spiders from Mars.
Dance, spiders,
Steve,
dance.
did you know that there are 25 tons of spiders living on Earth at any given moment?
I did know that.
There are more than 47,000 species of spiders worldwide, 670 of which are found in Britain. Altogether, they eat between 400 and 800 tons of insects each year. Small spiders like the woodhouse spider eat insects. The biggest spider in the world is the Goliath bird-eating spider. As their name suggests, they feed on birds, but also enjoys a mouse snack. That should terrify you. Have you guys seen the video of the spider it's in like an outhouse or something like that, and it's actually carrying a snake?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. I mean, good for the spider.
I know you don't like snakes, but a spider that took the bitch down, like, no. It's like tied up in the web, like he's noosing that thing and like hauling it off. Like, oh, look at my haul, baby!
I just pulled up the Goliath bird eater. That is
massive.
That is a big spider. They say those big ass ones in Australia. What are they?
The huntsman.
Yeah, they're like, oh, dude, they're not dangerous. I'm like, I understand that, but it is massive and it's on your ceiling. Like I could not go to sleep like that.
The Goliath bird eater is kind of like your textbook tarantula. Like, if you think tarantula, that's your guy. Other than the fact that it's not as hairy. You know what I mean? And then I'm going to leave you with this last spider fact.
Spider fact.
Steve is never going to this place. Spiders are lucky, you see.
Why?
In Bengal, small spiders are thrown as confetti.
What?
In Egypt, spiders are placed in newlyweds' beds for good fortune. Finding a money spider on your clothes is considered lucky all around the world.
You know why they came up with that? Some kid freaked out. So, no, it's good luck. It's good luck.
Like the bird that pooped on
He's about to get his ass beat. No, it's good luck, Ma.
Relax, Billy. That big-ass spider on you, it's good luck. Just chill out.
A woman in the UK was met by police when her plane landed, but you won't believe why, Miles.
Why was that?
I'll tell you at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are counted at 5:50. In the meantime, have we made it to drinking time?
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the men's room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink test. Scan Steve and Throw Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed, and today's shot is brought to you by our friends at Black Raven Brewing, proud brewers of Men's Room IPA and the Men's Room 20th Anniversary Lager. I had a different shot of the day originally, but I came across the story. So today, we are toasting, only identified as Emily and Nathan of somewhere in Australia. All right, so I don't know what they do for a living, but they work together in an office, and they're having an office romance. The thing is, they wanted to keep this away from the coworkers for all the reasons you'd imagine, right? So the coworkers for a couple of years had no idea that the two were together. But as things are now, every once in a while you have a Zoom meeting. Now, they were savvy enough to go into separate rooms to do the Zoom meeting, therefore the background was entirely different. However, during the Zoom meeting that they both needed to attend, their colleagues realized that something was up. You see, again, they stayed in two separate rooms while on the call, cautious not to draw attention to themselves. However, their Australian Shepherd Corgi mix dog had other plans. So as Emily is talking, the Corgi mix shows up on her screen, and all the coworkers have a good chuckle, but because she is doing work, she didn't give the dog the attention that the dog needed. So they watch the dog run out of the room. And then it shows up on Nathan's screen because it wants to get attention from Nathan, and the coworkers started to piece together, we're pretty sure that's the same dog because the dog has very distinct markings. And in that moment, the office romance was revealed to the rest of the coworkers. Damn. They haven't had any backlash about it, but they just made the point that we've been keeping it quiet for years, man. And this damn dog, because I would not pet it because I'm trying to do work, decided to go find Nathan and run up on his lap. And everyone's like, wait a minute, man. That's the exact same dog. Yeah, that's how they got
Especially to happen that quickly.
Oh, that's how they said everyone pieced it together because they could watch it. Everyone kind of chuckled, and they see the dog not quite run, but you know that excited trot the dogs do. And that exact same trot and that exact same dog with the exact same markings shows up at, quote-unquote, Nathan's house, looking for attention from him. So now it's been revealed. Good boy. Good boy. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies.
Down the hola bichola. Let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This now. 206-803-ROCK. Profile This is next.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
Nerds!
Today's episode is sponsored by Smart Travel, a new podcast from NerdWallet. Smart Travel doesn't just cover points and miles. They break down all the financial aspects of your trip, whether that's the best days to book, how to avoid hidden fees, or which fancy travel credit cards pay off, and which ones are just an expensive flex. If you want your travel budget to work harder, then dive into the best deals, products, services, and more with Smart Travel from NerdWallet, wherever you get your podcasts.
Spring's here. Flowers are blooming, birds are singing, and allergies? Yeah, they're back too. Sneezing, watery eyes. When they hit, you need a tissue fast. That's where Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues come in. Whether you're at home or on the go, Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues have you covered. Allergist-approved Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues are gentle on your eyes and nose, so you can power through allergy season without missing a beat. Because while allergies are unpredictable, staying prepared is easy. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.
At Cardinal Heating and Air, we elevate your comfort with expert HVAC solutions in the greater Seattle area. Our decades of experience have fostered lasting relationships built on quality service. Whether you need AC repair, heating repair, routine maintenance, a new installation, or an emergency fix, you can trust Cardinal Heating and Air, now offering electrical services. Experience the exceptional service and peace of mind that Cardinal Heating and Air delivers today and for years to come.
I love the Marquette community. I think, it to me resembles a family of some sort.
You are coming to a place that is not only going to give you a great education, but I think it's going to make you a very well-rounded individual.
Especially because of the size, you can definitely find your people. I came in and it was open arms. While you're here, we're going to try to make you feel that same love and make this place home. We are Marquette.
We are Marquette.
We are Marquette.
We are Marquette.
At Danner, the journey is never complete. The Danner N45 Trail Hiker is designed to support those willing to sweat in search of their edge. Featuring PerSpare uppers with a Reaprene gussets for maximum breathability and Endurafoam midsoles for long-lasting comfort and cushion. The recraftable Vibram Mega Grip outsoles are built to be rebuilt. Danner's precision fit technology is available in women's styles. Breathe in the scenery with the Danner N45 Trail Hiker. Wherever you are on your journey, take new steps in the only direction you were meant to go. Forward. Explore the N45 at danner.com.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Then fly with Condor Airlines. With nonstop flights to Frankfurt, Germany, there are great connection options to several cities. Whether it's the romantic streets of Paris or the stunning beaches of Barcelona, Condor will start your vacation by offering comfortable and spacious cabins. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today.
Man, that was easy.
Bulldog Rotary Hammer!
Hello?
It is I, He-Man, your inner Bosch.
Inner...
Bosch!
I'm sorry, what?
That powerful feeling you get when you can powerfully blast through concrete. Say it with me.
What, like right now?
Yes! We have the power!
The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a...
Bosch!
Are
you a bartender that dreads the phrase, "Hey, can you put the game on?" At Sports on What, we understand your pain and we're here to help. Over-the-air, satellite, cable, or streaming, Sports on What knows what channel the game is on, and you can too. Follow your favorite teams, set alerts, and filter by provider to get the results you need. Stop wasting time searching and never miss kickoff again. Just download the Sports on What app, and you'll always know how to watch the game. Available for Android and iOS. Start your 7-day free trial when you download Sports on What and subscribe today.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, could you please start everyone out? Profile This is played.
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Today, you three gentlemen will be competing against one another. And for you, we have 3 categories. We have Animalize This, where you guess the animal responsible for causing the problem. Seriously, where you guess the petty conflict that led to violence. And finally today, License to Spill, where you guess the substance responsible for creating the mess.
Ted, you want to pick it?
Let's spill it.
Yesterday in North Carolina, the morning commute was brought to a halt after a truck spilled its cargo on Interstate 40. Now, the mess scattered cargo caused a traffic slowdown beginning around 7 a.m. in the westbound lanes at exit 282 near the Research Triangle Park. Now, by 9 a.m., most of the cargo had been cleared from the roadway and traffic was moving freely again. Durham police at the scene said a truck was carrying cargo from Raleigh to Chapel Hill when it lost 2 crates of cargo, causing a minor car crash. No one was injured. Now, police officers said the back door of the truck was not secured properly. Most of the cargo was, in fact, destined for Chapel Hill. According to a local news station, they reached out to the company that was delivering the cargo, saying, quote, "The company has recovered the cargo that spilled out of the vehicle this morning. The recovered cargo is being taken to a local processing center to be reprocessed, and hopefully it will make its destination by tomorrow." So all's well that ends well, I suppose. But the question is, what was the truck hauling? Lab monkeys, rabbits, male or ground beef? So monkeys, rabbits, male or ground beef?
I think the animals were in there to deter us. I think it was just boring-ass mail.
Boring-ass mail.
Mail.
Says Mike.
I thought you said mayo.
Mail. M-A-I-L.
Mayo.
I was thinking about going with mayonnaise.
Not mayonnaise. As a hint.
Repurpose that mayonnaise. Processing plant. I'm going to go ground beef.
I'm with Miles.
Beef?
Hey, it's ground beef.
Okay.
There's a lot of different grades of it, so they said, just throw it back to the processor and send it back up to Chapel Hill.
What fell out of the truck? Lab monkeys, rabbits, male or ground beef? We'll find out next.
That was a tease.
You are listening to The Men's Room.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive. Most of you aren't just listening right now. You're driving, cleaning, and even exercising. But what if you could be saving money by switching to Progressive? Drivers who save by switching save nearly $750 on average. And auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Multitask right now. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations.
The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are designed to outlast and outlive, combining raw power with precision engineering, all backed by Toyota's legendary reputation for reliability. Climb inside a Tundra and experience the uncompromising strength. With its available iForce Max engine, the Tundra delivers exceptional power, torque, and towing capacity. Plus, the spacious and high-tech cabin keeps you connected on the run. Or check out a Tacoma. Agile, dependable, and unstoppable. The Tacoma's designed for those who go beyond the trails. Stay ahead of the pack with available off-road features like crawl control. Or break out your tunes with the available portable JBL speaker. Toyota trucks are built to last, year after year, mile after mile. So outlast every adventure and outlive the moment. Buy a Tundra or Tacoma today. Visit buyatoyota.com, the official website for deals. Or stop by your local Toyota dealer to find out more. Toyota, let's go places.
$50,000 to $80,000 to repair and replace a broken sewer? That stinks.
Well, that's what you get when you buy an older home.
We don't have that kind of money. I mean, who does?
Well, don't wait until it's too late. Call Pinky's.
Pinky's?
Yes, Darlene. Pinky's Plumbing. They do everything plumbing, even sewer and drain cleaning. A little preventative maintenance now will save you a big headache later. Just schedule it at pinkysplumbing.com.
Oh, thanks, Ethel.
His license to spill on profile this North Carolina truck spill, I guess, just yesterday.
Yeah.
Caused traffic slow down for at least a couple hours. There was a minor car that was damaged. When the doors opened up, I guess the latch didn't work.
Yeah.
So two crates fell out of the truck. So what spilled? Lab monkeys, rabbits, mail, or ground beef?
Now, here's the thing. Based on where it happened, if you know anything about that part of the country, that's where you Duke, NC State, University of North Carolina, they do a lot of research, which is why I threw in the lab monkeys and the rabbits.
There's a bunch of universities right there.
Exactly, right? And they do a lot of science. However, those were not it. So, Miles and D. Smith, you went with the ground beef? It was not ground beef. Mike, you felt like I was trying to throw you off the trail.
Yeah, I did.
And did when animals, being that it's male. And you are correct.
All right, nice work.
I'm a deceitful son of a bitch.
Yes, you are. Now for all TV news all the time, and it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right, your choices today. You got Seth Meyers, the Jimmys,
Alan and Kimmel,
Stephen Colbert, or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
The choice of the title, these guys have teams of talents, the writers help them come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom, or could it be the Ted Smith original?
According to a new study, the biggest and scariest roller coaster with the biggest ups and downs in the world is now located right here in the United States. Yeah, wild. Unfortunately, it's the stock market.
Fallon.
Ted Smith.
Smith. The CEO of Spirit Airlines stepped down. He was like, well, I'm going to take off. And everyone was like, we'll see.
Fallon. Seth.
That's Fallon.
Hang on.
Spirit? Did I not spell? I spelled spirit probably weird.
You didn't have spirit in there, Ted. Oh, you missed that one. You didn't say that. You see, these ones have the correct date here. That one doesn't have the correct date. All right. All good. I should have double checked that. That's on me.
What a minute. 12:50. Krispy Kreme has released a new donut. Is that in there? Which is dipped in blue icing, topped with sprinkles, and sugar bunny in honor of Easter. The way it works is you eat a box of them, then you're dead for 3 days.
That one's in there.
Colbert?
Yeah. Seth.
Krispy Kreme has unveiled a new donut, which is dipped in blue icing and topped with green sprinkles and a sugar bunny in honor of Easter. The way it works is you eat a box of them and you're dead for 3 days.
You know, I heard Jesus jokes are on the rise this time of year.
Hell.
New York City pizza delivery driver was caught on camera dropping the pizza on the ground, then picking it up and still delivering it. The customer was like, as long as it doesn't have any pineapple, I'll try it. Fallon.
A New York City delivery worker was caught on video dropping a pizza on the street, then picking it up and putting it back in the box. Customer's like, as long as it doesn't have any pineapple, I'll try it.
All right. I know you guys have been worried about it for years, but don't. Elton John and Madonna have buried the hatchet.
Oh, God.
I didn't know that they had beef.
Me neither. You know what? Honestly, I did not either.
Yeah.
And for such of them being such gay icons, you'd figure they were buddies or running around.
That'd have been my assumption, yeah.
Yeah, I guess not. He had called her before a fairground stripper. Accused,
That just sounds so very Elton John.
accused her of lip syncing or singing. Anyhow, basically, Madonna just went to SNL today, or last weekend. She wanted to see the show. She confronted him after the show. She said, when I first met, the first thing out of his mouth was, forgive me. Wall between us fell down. Basically, he was like, look, sorry, I was being a bitch.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, look, I don't disagree with him. No. I mean, one has talent, one does not. Both are very popular.
Yeah, I'm sure. And he's already like, look, I feel bad about it. I already wrote a song for you years ago.
Sure.
So I'm sure you will see them together doing something.
You know it's going to happen.
Did you guys watch Elton John's performance over the weekend with Brandy Carlisle?
No, I did not.
I mean, look, it's just two awesome singers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, to me, the second song still kind of sounds Elton John-ish, right? But, I mean, it's good. If you like either, I mean, they're both amazing singers.
Bernie Taupin wrote them.
Yep.
And he helped with the entire album, so I'm kind of looking forward to buying that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You can't really go wrong there. All right, so you guys remember the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers?
Of course. I went to the movie with my son.
That's so weird. So I remember the live action ones because it came out in 93, right? So I was still kind of watching that stuff. Basically, people are just kind of figuring out now that the Black Ranger was played by Walter Emmanuel Jones. He's black. The Yellow Power Ranger was played by an Asian. So the writer, Tony Oliver, he goes, look, it was just kind of a mistake at the time. None of us were thinking about the stereotypes. But apparently, I like this, to old camcorder footage, the cast would openly joke about it.
Of course.
Basically, they kind of talked about this on a recent episode of Hollywood Demons. The episode is also called Dark Side of the Power Rangers. I've also contended for years, I don't know why the one Spice Girl that was black had to be scary.
Scary. Yeah, that was the one that annoyed me, man.
Yeah. Well, they've been doing this crap for years.
Because, I mean, in that thing, like, you accepted that name. Like the Black Power Ranger, Yellow Power Ranger. You wouldn't take the gig if you really thought that was at the heart of it. You'd be like, F you and call
plus, nobody could see you underneath those costumes.
Right.
So it wasn't necessary for the black one to be black.
Right.
So I think they just hired him.
Maybe just made it easier for, like, the director. Like, I don't remember who's who. Put the yellow one in the yellow, put the black one in the black. Everyone else is white. Cool. Done.
Look at Planet of the Apes.
Right.
For crying out loud. You know, the
original.
Yeah, the whatever. It was like the light skin against the dark skin.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically. And the dark skin was bad. The light skin were the good people.
Oh, yeah, always.
Good apes.
Yeah, good apes. Who's a good ape?
Yeah, come here.
Who's a good little ape?
I mean, hell, Lion King with Cheech and, all that crap.
Yeah, all that stuff, man. It's always been that way.
Jar Jar Binks.
Right.
Crying out loud.
Hey, look at Westerns, right? The guy that wears the black hat is generally the bad guy.
Always.
Yeah.
I
So.
like black stuff.
I've heard that about you, Mike.
What do you guys think about Mr. Clean? Sexy?
No.
Not for me, but,
All right. Well, I like how they wrote
He looks
this.
like Yul Brenner.
There are a lot of women, and presumably not straight men, they think Mr. Clean is attractive. I'm not even going to read this line. It's so ridiculous what they wrote here.
What did they write?
There are women, and presumably non-straight men, who want Mr. Clean to be their daddy.
Oh, Jesus. What?
I don't know. Get a little loose here.
I mean, my mom likes Geico Gecko, man, so who am I to judge?
Yeah, my mom was classic. Tom Selleck.
That was easy, right? All the chicks liked him. With the boom broom.
So I guess Drew Barrymore, they were on her show earlier this week discussing a recent poll that half of Americans get turned on watching their partner do household chores. Then her sidekick, Ross, said, there's a reason Mr. Clean is so hot, okay? Basically, Drew Barrymore's not having it. She says, I wonder why they have fetishized, made a fetish out of Mr. Clean. It's like he's pumped up and ready for action. I feel uncomfortable when I see him because he's so sexual.
Wait, Drew Barrymore finds Mr. Clean sexual.
I don't understand it because she starts with, it's weird that we
fetishize.
Yeah, that's a weird word. I haven't said that.
Well, no one.
But if you're saying, let's not make him sexual, then it's like, why is he so pumped up? It looks like he's ready for action. Now I feel like you're making him sexual.
Yeah, because
cleaning.
Tiny Ball Man was a bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, Mr. Clean does look like one of the Right Said Fred guys. And I think they were
too sexy.
They are really sexy.
Too sexy.
Right. So, I mean, I don't think it's crazy to look at him. I mean, look, the Bronny guy, I think there's a lot of women that grew up in this area, like, right?
But he's
got a flannel on. I mean, he looks like he lives out in the, an index.
But they hired a real dude.
For the brawny man.
Right. So if you looked at the brawny man and you found him attractive, you go like, all right. A bunch of guys I know want to nail Flo from Progressive.
Well, I think
Right?
also sometimes, too, with caricatures, look, if you break it down, obviously I'm not attracted to cartoons. But as a kid...
Who would you have sex with first? Cartoon world.
Oh,
and
Jessica
it can't
Rabbit.
be not Jessica Rabbit. Take
All
her
right.
out of the equation.
April.
Okay, right.
From Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
You know, I mean, it's not that it's sexual. I would nail April in a New York.
Well, yeah, Betty Boop. I'm just saying, like,
Daphne.
I don't think it's that weird that you could look at a cartoon and be like, well, that cartoon, if it was a real person, would be attractive.
But if you're trying to sell a product other than Quaker Oats, I don't know that making someone ugly is your best bet. It doesn't mean they're sexual, but like you don't go out of your way to have an ugly logo than say, buy this.
Yeah, barbecue sauce.
Barbecue's
Stub
different.
is
They
Stub.
need to be ugly. I don't
Right.
trust a good-looking man to make my barbecue sauce. That's all. I
Yeah.
mean, he could have one arm, and I'd be like, oh, dude, that must be even
Chef
better.
Boyardee.
Real person, though.
Real person.
Yeah.
He
Chef
just happened to
Boyardee.
be ugly.
Okay.
Yeah. And look, we
You
all
just
have...
insulted a real person, Miles.
Yeah, dude. And look, I'm racist when it comes to barbecue, right? Like, I was...
That's why we bought Stubbs.
Right.
There's a black dude in a cowboy hat. I'm like, brother can make it. And then we found out that guy has nothing to do with the product.
Right. I had some amazing barbecue. What was it? A place called Gunners up in Glacier, Washington, right? By the Mount Baker ski area. And I felt bad, but I said to the guys, like, just two white guys from Bellingham made this?
Right.
They were like, yeah, why? And I'm like, it seems too good.
If they put them on the label, it wouldn't have sold. Didn't they basically want to use his image to help promote
So the
it?
people, I know one of the guys that bought Stubbs, and that's
Yeah.
what they did. Stubb always lived around the area down there in Austin, was famous for his place and everything. They bought the brand, they cut Stubbs in, but then part of it was they said, hey, like we're two white guys. We need your face on there so people will just go, that guy knows barbecue.
Me and
You
my
know?
Uncle Ben's like, kiss my ass.
Well, think about back in the day, right? We like Dukes of Hazzard. Now, for people that don't know, but Boss Hogg, he was like the sheriff or whatever.
No,
But
he was the boss at the time. Mayor, I believe.
mayor. But he was this giant fat dude. Like, if that guy showed up in an apron and said, I'm going to cook for you today, you'd go, okay. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You'd be excited about it.
Sure.
It'd be like, I don't know. I'm sure there is, but I don't think the top sushi chefs in the world are just, some dude from Iowa.
Right.
Bubba Sushi.
I don't know. He grew up cutting up carp.
Right.
Right? It's like, which I don't
He's
think
got skills now.
My California roll second to none.
Go ahead, take yourself a little
If you
nibble.
can't drive to the beach, don't eat sushi in that place. That's what I learned in Reno.
There's my mama's tempura recipe.
Brother,
Yeah, why
Reno
am I doing
sushi, it's in the name.
No, what I mean is, if,
mean,
you
that's
can't, if you can't drive within a day or a morning to saltwater, don't eat sushi there.
Right.
I think the riskiest one I've done was I had an oyster at Austin Food and Wine. I mean, they were obviously flown in relatively soon. But yeah, even my buddy who lives down there was like, I'm not going to the oyster stand. I was like, I'll go check them out.
That's what always killed me about the shrimp cocktail in Indianapolis. But as everyone pointed out, is that it's not the shrimp. It is the cocktail sauce.
Oh, I went to one of the best oyster places in San Francisco. They said we had the best oysters in the country. And I was like, all right, awesome. They're all from here.
Yeah, let's say all
Every single one of them was from here in Vancouver. On average, they were $1.50 cheaper than Seattle.
Which is crazy.
Each.
Right.
Each.
And
They're
then I think in
22
Indianapolis,
bucks, 23 bucks a dozen.
because Chicago, then Indianapolis, like Kansas City were so famous for railroads and the stockyards and having beef.
Yeah.
That hotel, that steakhouse was pretty famous. Like, all right, we have this cocktail sauce. We're going to have a shrimp cocktail.
Sure.
But yeah.
But it ain't
definitely-
the shrimp, right. It is the sauce.
Let's see. If you're a fan of the Lost of Us video games, they just say, you know how the HBO series is going to end. But basically, they're just like, look, it won't go past its source material like Game of Thrones did.
Nice.
Right?
That's because the guy couldn't finish his book. We're Game of Thrones, right? So the guy had written all these books, and he's like, cool, the show's doing well. And I want to say he promised, 9 times, like, hey, for you guys to figure out how to end this, I will have my book done, right? And basically, it'll be symbiotic. People are going to want to buy the book. People who buy the book are going to understand the show. He's still not done with it, so they were like, okay, look, man, we just have to make something up.
Yeah, right? You got to put out the TV
Like, we
show.
need to end the show, but you're not finishing the book.
Yeah, but that's good. If you like the video games, you can watch the show there, and you don't have to You don't have to sweat it going past there. I would also mention, if you watched, it was a very good end, kind of an odd ending to the national championship game last night.
That was weird. It's like a Chris Webber moment, but not anything to do with the timeout.
God damn, Montgomery. That is a great call. I put that.
No, it was just weird.
I put that in my group thread last night. I said, weird ending reminds me of Chris Webber calling timeout, but he didn't have one.
It's like, what just happened right there?
Yeah, but either way, it was good. Florida Gators won, and I just, every time, I feel like every sports team, especially college sports teams, have like things they say. I like those guys kept saying, Gator boy, stay hot. Like, I was getting fired up, Mike. I'm not a Gator boy, but I'm going to stay hot.
Thank you, Tim. We appreciate it. You're listening to The Men's Room.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. It wouldn't take too long before the Tiger King somehow got back in the news again.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, a Maryland man agrees to help his mom move some furniture, which is a $50,000 win. 3 teens attacked the Easter Bunny, who was making kids smile at the Naples Mall. Uber's annual list of forgotten items is once again a quite unusual haul. And police escort a woman off of a Ryanair flight as she was unable to pay for a small can of Pringles. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my car.
Our top story, we go to the UK, where there's drama in the skies. A woman was on a flight from Spain to southwest England when she decided to enjoy a little in-flight snack of Pringles, along with a water and a cola from the card there, bringing her up to a small total of £7. Unfortunately for her, the card machine that they had on the plane wasn't accepting her card. It was malfunctioning, and she didn't have any cash on hand. She tried to use another machine that they had there on the plane, but that one was malfunctioning as well, leaving her unable to pay. She offered to grab cash from a machine when they landed, but was told that that wasn't a possibility. They also informed her that police had been contacted and would meet her at the gate when they landed.
What?
She initially laughed it off as a joke, but was shocked to see officers actually there getting on the plane when they landed to pull her off. She explained with the crew stating that she refused to pay for the Pringles. She's like, I've done everything I possibly could to try to pay for these things. I'm here to pay for them. I'm not trying to run off with them. So
You've got to be kidding.
She explained herself to the officers, who brought her to a cash machine there in the terminal and allowed her to get the proper funds to pay for the goods. Shocked at the situations themselves. She was told that she would be banned from the airline regardless of having paid her fees. And the feeling was mutual, informing them that she wouldn't be flying with them ever again anyway.
Good.
That is ridiculous.
I wouldn't.
I
don't want to fly on your plane anymore.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I can figure something else out.
I don't, because they were saying that she was being combative, and she's like, I'm literally trying to pay for this thing.
Right.
So I was like, there's something missing here. I don't know what's going on. Like, if that's
maybe
if
there's
that's,
more to the story. I don't know.
Right, but if the story's face value, this is all that happened. Like, yeah, screw that airline. Like, get away from that.
Jesus.
In other news, to Kentucky, where a restaurant owner is showing his clever side, the owner posted a video online showing his strategy for fighting the Ohio River floods by flooding his own restaurant before the waters flow in from the outside.
What's the reasoning here?
So he disconnected utilities and electrical panels for safety and used sinks, faucets, and well water pump to flood his restaurant with about 6 feet of fresh water. The idea being that it would keep the silty, nasty floodwaters on the outside of the restaurant and save themselves a ton of time and money cleaning up the mess that would be left behind. And the video that he posts shows that there is a clear divide between the dirty waters that are outside and the clean, clear waters that he has on the inside. His only concern is if the waters flow higher than where they're at now, but so far it looks like his plan is actually working. So the thing is that he just concedes, like, my restaurant is going to be flooded.
It's going to be okay.
Where I am at, there is no way that this place doesn't flood. I have glass doors on this thing. I have windows all over the place. I'm too low. We've got 6 feet of water that's going to come in here. So screw it. I'm going to flood my own place. And it actually, when you think about it, it does kind of hold it all at bay. And it was.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, if you concede that you're going to get flooded, okay.
Right. So, hopefully you build a restaurant that can take 6 foot of flooding without doing too much damage. But his concern was like, I don't want a whole bunch of scum and muck inside of my restaurant that I got to clean out.
The Buffalo Trace Distillery, completely underwater.
No kidding.
Yep.
Damn. That sucks. In Nevada, a 71-year-old man has been stripped of his animals. Authorities got reports of the animals that the man was illegally housing and conducted a raid. He was taken into custody and his animals were seized on charges that he did not have the proper permits to own the animals. But he claimed that he didn't need a permit for them as they were recognized on the county level as emotional support animals. What's more is that they were rescue animals, as he had rescued them from the Oklahoma legend Joe Exotic, also known as the Tiger King, which is why the man's 7 tigers that he had on his desert property were seized. He's facing several charges.
Yeah.
Whoever he dimed out, like, no, they recognized him as emotional support, like, they're about to get a talking to.
Yeah. No doubt. Come on.
You don't just sign off tigers as a doggone emotional support.
7 of them.
Right.
For one person.
Right. All 7 of them are for your emotional support. Okay.
You got real problems, brother.
I'm gonna sit here and watch you just live with these animals for the next week. Let's see how much emotional support they bring you. Criminy. Like, I get that you want them. Fine.
I get it.
Go through the proper permitting to get them.
That's all.
Now, I would also say don't get doggone tigers, but hey, if that's your thing, do your thing. Whatever. A couple teenagers in Florida are facing charges for breaking the rules about public figures. Authorities were called to the local mall on reports of battery of a beloved figure, the Easter Bunny that was there for photo ops. The bunny was apparently on their way to the break room when he was followed by the teenagers, who were repeatedly tugging, pushing, pulling, and making attempts to rip the bunny apart. One of the teenagers was arrested from the incident. 13, 14 years old were these kids.
Wouldn't you think if you're dressed as the Easter Bunny, other than perhaps, I don't know, asphyxiating inside of it, that you're fairly safe?
Right. You're going to be fine.
Right.
And you know what? Maybe a little bit picked on. Maybe razzed by people that are going by. Harassed and battered by these kids? Come on.
Yeah. Come on.
You think they were doing it for the videos? You think they were trying to make a video?
Totally.
Yeah. Like, come on.
What other reason would you have?
Gang, can we get just a little bit more respect? Just a little bit.
My son's 13. I'm just picturing the cops telling me that that's what happened. I'd be like, do not press charges. Just leave my home.
Right.
This is going to be dope.
Right. It's done.
Oh, yeah.
This matter is
Trust
done.
me, it would never happen again.
But just in case those stories up to bad taste in your mouth.
Thankfully, there's good news.
A man in Maryland was rewarded for helping his mother move some furniture. While moving things around her basement, he happened upon a stash of lottery scratchers that his mother had bought him with the intention of them being stocking stuffers a while back. He asked her permission to scratch them, and she allowed it with the understanding that they would split the winnings. He got a lot of duds, but did manage to win one card for $6, one for $15, and then a big old jackpot worth $50,000.
All right.
Oh, true to his word, he did split the winnings with his mom. However, he says that she's going to get more because he does owe her some money, so she's going to get that paid back as well.
Brother, if you paid your mother back what you owe her, you just give her the ticket.
There you go. Men's Room Sports are brought to you by the fine folks at Sports One. What a good night for Seattle sports last night. The Seattle Kraken bested the LA Kings last night, winning the game 2-1. And the Mariners showed up for game 1 against the Astros with a major comeback after dropping the lead in the 8th to come back and win it. As far as what you're going to watch tonight, you got NBA basketball, more Kraken hockey as they take on Utah, and more Mariners baseball as we continue the series with Houston. Find out where and when to watch all those games in one convenient location. It is called the Sports on What app. As far as your weather, we got a few clouds tonight, dropping things down to about 44. Tomorrow we're looking at patches of clouds early on with the sun peeking through to bring the high right up to 61. That's it for headlines. With that, Mike Hawkins out.
Thanks, really appreciate it. We'll see you next time for the return of Who Sucks Last. The lovely Jolene is up next.
Yes, indeed, it is all true, but in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
Spring's here. Flowers are blooming, birds are singing, and allergies, yeah, they're back too. Sneezing, watery eyes, when they hit, you need a tissue fast. That's where Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues come in. Whether you're at home or on the go, Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues have you covered. Allergist-approved Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues are gentle on your eyes and nose, so you can power through allergy season without missing a beat. Because while allergies are unpredictable, staying prepared is easy. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.
Nerds!
Today's episode is sponsored by Smart Travel, a new podcast from NerdWallet. Smart Travel doesn't just cover points and miles. They break down all the financial aspects of your trip, whether that's the best days to book, how to avoid hidden fees, or which fancy travel credit cards pay off, and which ones are just an expensive flex. If you want your travel budget to work harder, then dive into the best deals, products, services, and more with Smart Travel from NerdWallet, wherever you get your podcasts.
Plug in a Hyundai EV and the extraordinary happens. From the charge time and range in the Ioniq 5 and 6 to the adventurous spirit of the Kona Electric to the 601 horsepower Ioniq 5N. Hyundai EVs make the extraordinary electrifying. There's joy in every journey.
EPA estimated 303-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 5 SE SEL Limited rear-wheel drive and 361-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 6 SE long-range rear-wheel drive with fully charged battery. Actual range may vary. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
At Cardinal Heating and Air, we elevate your comfort with expert HVAC solutions in the greater Seattle area. Our decades of experience have fostered lasting relationships built on quality service. Whether you need AC repair, heating repair, routine maintenance, a new installation, or an emergency fix, you can trust Cardinal Heating and Air, now offering electrical services. Experience the exceptional service and peace of mind that Cardinal Heating and Air delivers today and for years to come.